Previously on the City of Illumination, our adventurers met up in the port city of Macerna. We were looking to join the freelancers of the Rafsa Federation and earn some coin. We ended up making it in there. We all met each other. We met a guy named Jeffrey. He's pretty cool. He introduced us to iced ale. Sounds gross. It's actually wonderful. So anyway, they gave us a couple of them small time contracts so they could measure our skills or whatever that means. I don't know. Either way, we got a couple of them. We're supposed to take out some goblins and we're supposed to take out some frogs. So we elected to take out the frogs first. That didn't go as planned. Poor Tav got swallowed. I'm glad she's okay though. After we did that, we searched the campsite. We found some nifty stuff. We came back, we sold the stuff. Basically, we had a night of it. Well, we didn't really have a night so much as we all just went to bed. And that's kind of where you're starting off today. You didn't miss a whole lot, but you did miss poor Tav. Poor Tav. Getting swallowed by a frog. Anyway, I guess you're all caught up. Get ready to enjoy another adventure.
Today's date, if you go to the month Fire Meets, so we're almost near the end of the year. It is the 21st. So we are on Avogan, the 21st, I believe.
Sweet.
Notes. Correct. Yes. All right, cool. Boom, boom. That's for you all. Okay. So into the session we go. We're going to go ahead and start off. You are waking up around 7 a.m. I know, Sterling, you are a Warforged, and you typically are in a sentry mode. So in sentry mode, you just sit there or stand there, depending on how you want. But you can still see things around you. You can't move your head, so you can only see things from like in front of you and then peripherally, and then you can hear things as well. But you only do have to do that for 6 hours. So if you did want to do something at like 5 in the morning, we could start with you, but it's up to you. But I just figured we'd start off all the same time, just so for simplicity's sake. So,
Yeah.
if you want to do something at 5 a.m.,
No, I think I'll just wait
okay,
till.
not a problem. Okay, so we're gonna start off with Tav in the morning today. Tav,
Yeah.
you awake to some movement in your room. Some of the old decrepit furniture being moved and sort of tossed aside. You hear what sounds like thousands of like bristles scraping against the once also decrepit wooden floor. And as you turn over with your hand on your rusty rapier, ready for any danger, you see this old crusty turtle who seems to be cleaning your room. She's just sort of looks like she's this big, large turtle. There's many scars. Her shell is weathered. She has some of these interesting and peculiar armbands and charms and trinkets that are wrapped around her forearms, her biceps, and around her shell. I'll post a picture in a minute, but she's just sort of just sweeping around, sort of mumbling to herself. She's just sort of just using one hand to lift all the furniture in your room. Um, but yeah, that's going on in your room right now. I'll go ahead and post a picture right now. What would you like to do? Oh shit. Hello.
Didn't quite catch the last thing.
So yeah, I will post the picture of this turtle. What would you like to do?
What are you doing in my room, if I may ask? It's a little bit weird. I'm trying to sleep here.
1 second. I really need to turn the humidifier on this week. I really need this. My voice is just raspy. I put you. Here you are. Typical sort of greenish, light greenish pigments, at least for the flesh color. The shell is this dark emerald, and there are some jagged protrusions coming from the shell itself. But the most peculiar features are all these different trinkets and charms wrapped around her very large, muscular upper body. Post a picture right now. In NPC appears. She turns to you and says, Well, I don't know, honey, if you're from the city or anything, but typically we lock the door. So I normally check to see if it's locked. If it's locked, I don't go in and clean. But since your door was unlocked, I didn't think anyone was in there, and I saw a little dainty little lass like yourself. And well, I have to do my job and try to keep this somewhat dirty place clean. So here I am. She just continues to clean around. She sort of lifts your bed with her large forearms and biceps sort of just tighten up. Like I'm talking about like her biceps as big as your upper body. Like she's pretty swole. She lifts up your bed slightly to get underneath, and just dust flies everywhere in the room. She goes to the window, opens it, sort of try to blow some of the wind out, but then she breathes it in. She starts coughing a little bit. Sometimes I don't even know what's the point.
Yeah, I get that. Oh, I thought I locked the door. Maybe the lock is broken. Yeah. No problem. I will leave you to the work, and it was a wonderful pleasure to meet you, ma'am. Have a nice day. Oh, before I go, what is your name?
As she sort of followed behind you as you're walking out, she's like, "Name's Chigmo. I'm one of the bartenders here. I'm also the owner of the Merry Tortoise."
Well, it was a pleasure sleeping in your nice inn, but I will be leaving now. So thank you very much, and have a great day.
She's just bows her head and says, "You too. Have a good one."
And
Okay.
I leave.
Okay. Where are you going? Are you heading to the fortune hall or something? Or
I I don't know where we were supposed to meet up.
I'm pretty
Somewhere.
sure last time we left off, you all agreed to just meet at the fortune hall at like 8 or 9 o'clock. I don't really know. I don't remember you guys gave a specific time. All I know is that you said that you would all meet at the fortune hall sometime in the
Yeah, then I'll go to the fortune hall and wait there for the others.
morning. Okay, sounds good. As you walk downstairs, you can smell a very familiar, oh, excuse me, a very familiar breakfast being made early in the morning. You see Zaruch is walking out with a large plate of Brazilian couscous. If you know what couscous is, it's just basically a bunch of small pellets steamed with semolina, topped with meat, vegetables, and various spices. In this instance, it's chicken, carrots, and chickpeas. And then he begins. It seems like this plate's for him. As he puts down, he's just like, sort of licks his lips, and he pours himself some brown ale and sets it down. He looks at you. Morning.
Good morning.
Care,
Having some.
care for some breakfast, or are you just heading out right away?
Oh, I'm heading out. I don't want to disturb right now.
All
So
right,
have a nice breakfast.
thanks.
Mm,
More for
Goodbye.
me. He starts just chowing down. As you walk out into the already dry and hot morning day, clear skies. The sun is already starting to, even though it's just already somewhat rising from the horizon. It is already bearing down this tremendous wave of heat over the city, over this port city, and it's just you've lived here in this region for some time now, but man, is it? It's just sometimes it's unbearable.
I don't want to know what the kitchen looks like.
It's terrible.
Yeah,
He's like
I'm
it's terrible.
sorry.
It's the nine hells in here.
Well, clean it then.
Hey, okay,
And I go to the fortunal, see if I can get some breakfast there instead.
okay, sounds good. We will get to you in a minute, and then we will go ahead and move on to Sterling. Sterling, you begin to move out of your sentry mode after a few after the nominal hours that you're normal to. You awake in your relatively modest room. There is a freshly clean bed that has obviously not been used, as you're either standing or sitting somewhere near it. There's a desk with a candle. The wax is now sort of near the edge of the folder. The window is slightly ajar and the door is closed. What would you like to do?
Um, I just like to get up and just start heading out.
Okay. So as you disengage, yeah, no, I'm just kidding. As you disengage your sentry mode, and you regain full functionality throughout your body and your senses. You pick up your gear, you pick up your rifle after cleaning it and yourself for quite some time the night previously of all the coarse sand. Unfortunately, as you walk, you can still feel coarse sand beneath your wooden and metal feet. And you just let yourself like you just give out a sigh, open the door, and make your way downstairs. So I'll just do this later. No. Okay. As you make your way downstairs, you see at the bar a deep plum-skinned tiefling man with long black hair and emerald eyes. Like just his whole eye, iris, and eyeball is just emerald. Um, wearing a golden brown nightgown, is preparing some breakfast for himself and another patron at the bar. The patient looks to be a woman, a dwarf woman, in shirta officer gear. I'll go ahead and show a picture of what a normal shirta, that's a shurta, a shirta officer. You wouldn't know exactly what a shirta officer, but you've seen these people and you've seen, like in the city, you've seen people refer to them as shirta officers. And that's exactly what she's wearing. I'll go ahead and quickly post a picture and an NPC appears just to give you a reference on what they look like. But they're sort of wearing very well ironed khaki pants and shirt, or sort of like a sort of like a button over shirt. They have this regal purple esque sort of also plum colored leather armor with a little cap, and it has like a little uh, bandana around it as well. Um, there is a hand crossbow behind, like sort of lodged into a what looks like to be a holster on her back, but you don't see any close combat weapons on her. And like I said, let me post a picture for reference, a real quick of what they look like. You don't see them as much as like city guards or even Federation army soldiers throughout the city, but you do see them occasionally sort of meander alone. They don't typically walk together. They sort of just defiantly and stoically walk around themselves or by themselves. So this is what a typical Shirta officer would look like. It's an NPC appears channel. Um, and yeah, the picture does see note that it has sort of hidden blades like Assassin's Creed, which I will out of game tell you that's where their close combat weapons are. They have little hidden blades in their little forearm guards. But anyways, so you see this dwarf woman at the bar. It seems like wow, wrong notes. Who seems to be friends with this very good-looking bartender, and I'm gonna have to once again post a picture of what this good-looking bartender looks like. So I can't just say good-looking bartender and not show you how good-looking this person is. So once again, in the NPC appears, you'll see this dark, plum-skinned tiefling man, long black hair. Anyways, it seems like he's cooking some eggs with in tomato sauce. Uh, you don't know what that dish looks like. Once again, you don't normally eat because you have no need to eat. But it seems they're both enjoying the same plate. Um, the dwarf woman, as you were walking by, I don't know, would you like to go to the bar or would you like to just make your way to the fortune?
I think I would like to stop and talk to him
Mhm.
before I go.
Sure, yeah. As you walk down and meander your way towards the bar, you can sort of eventually eavesdrop on their conversation before you get to the bar. The dwarf woman addresses the bartender as Carius, um, and says that, Carius, honestly, we're just having difficulties finding this pesky Jakal. Um, could you look into the contacts that you might have still in the city if we could, help the Shirta station looking? I've already expended most of my resources, and my superior is already pressuring me to at least find some more definitive leads. The bartender, who now is called Carius, replies, "Oh, I'm sorry. It's just I left that life behind me. I can't go back and just simply ask for favors when I've been gone for so long. There has to be some sort of quid pro quo, and I have nothing to quit with, if you understand my meaning. And he sort of turns to you as you make your way. Ah, you must be the patron that my husband sort of let in. I am Carius. I'm the bartender here, co-owner of the Belly. Um, would you like some breakfast? And he sort of takes a look underneath your large, wide brim hat and says, "Oh, a Warforge. Been a while since I've seen your kind. Please sit. Is there anything I can do for you? Your name is."
Uh, my name's Sterling. I'm. I don't need food as much as I just kind of wanted to ask a few questions, if that's all right.
Of course. The dwarf woman looks at you and says, "I understand, Curious." And she bows her head, puts her helm back on. She looks at you, sir or Sirrah, and she steps off her stool that she's sitting on and walks out of the tavern. Carius looks at you and sort of like covers up his sort of exposed chest with his robe. Sorry, I'm not in my normal attire for the morning shift, but questions, sure, of course. What can I help you with?
Me and some pay, companions, some friends, we're gonna go out and fight some goblins, specifically sand goblins. I was wondering if you know anything about them.
Oh, desert goblins. I heard the rumor that they swim in sand. No, just kidding. um, I'm sorry, I jest. It's a common joke around these parts that we believe a lot of creatures out in the deserts tend to have this very specific skill of swimming in sand, like land sharks.
Just the
Desert
thing.
goblins. I bet you've heard. I bet you're quite new here, probably. When did you come to Broseus, by the way? By chance, are you from? You must be from Diaz, correct?
Uh, sure. So the thing about the sand goblins,
Oh, sorry.
can
I'm
they
just
actually swim?
no, no. They can't swim. That this is it's folly. But information on desert goblins. What would you like to know?
Do they have any
Anything?
weak, possibly?
Weaknesses. Well, they are typically familiar of the same species as normal goblins. They're all pretty much the same. They just reside in different environments and regions throughout the world, so they have to acclimate to the region itself. You're probably accustomed to forest goblins or plains goblins that rove in packs, large packs, small packs, and typically normally utilize probably ambushing techniques. The desert goblins, though they utilize the same techniques per se, they know and understand that the desert is just as a viable weapon as their own. So, if you're going out into the deserts, I will caution to not follow suit. They will try to lure you and drag you throughout a very exhausting journey for you to expend water and resources. And once they finally have you where you are exhausted and weakest, that is when they will strike. It's best to first find their hideouts, or at least find their tracks without them knowing you're around. I don't know how they do it, but they do travel quite fast on the desert dunes, and I believe they ride some sort of mounts. I'm not suggesting that they sand swim, but I am saying that they do have maybe some sort of mounts that can traverse sand dunes relatively easily. I'm not an expert. I've only just heard from what the senior freelancers and adventurers have spoken of in my tavern. Um, Other than that, they're just normal goblins,
All right. Uh, I don't really want food, but
of course.
uh, it, I think I'll be leaving. I'll leave my key here.
Oh, thank you very much. I hope you had a splendid stay here at the Ballet Catapulias.
Hmm. It was nice.
Okay. As you head out, I'm assuming you're going to make your way to the Fortune Hall, or would you like to go somewhere else?
I just like to go to Fortune Hall.
Okay, you make your way to the Fortune Hall. Since you really can't feel the heat, but you know that it's going to be one of those bright sunny days, and your companion Tab is probably going to suffer a lot. Okay. With that, Ox, as you have a peaceful slumber on the hammock that Gunther has allowed you to use at the beach, You awake to several brown and red feathered geese, a whole pack of them sitting around you and your hand. Quack,
Good morning, everyone.
quack.
All right, I sit
There's
up.
like 25 of them
That's
all around you,
perfect.
like a whole.
That's perfect. I may or may not have breakfast.
Mm. Two of them give you very deadly eyes. They seem to be the pack leaders.
So, nice to meet you. I gather
Quack.
up my things and I find the two that are the leaders and I just stare them down.
Yeah, it's like out of all the other geese, these two geese also like they're brave, they're courageous. They look right back at you with the same determination of like, do not fuck with me and my flock. And you can't help but like respect these two leader geese.
You're almost as cool as chickens.
Quack.
I gather my stuff and I push past them in my most inoffensive way possible.
They try to hold you back with whatever they can, but obviously you're just so big and they're just like wah, wah.
Just
And eventually you just wade through all of them.
goose me.
Excuse me. One of
I'll see you later.
okay,
All
sounds
right.
good.
So I it's a hot day. I was raised
Previous
in a
torture.
desert environment, so I know that
Mhm,
there are certain things I will need to survive.
mhm.
I am going to start by just finding a tavern and getting breakfast.
Amazing. Yeah, there are smaller. Do you want to go to a tavern, or you can go and get food at like vendor stalls along the way,
Yeah, I'm gonna do
or what
that.
have
Quick
you.
food, and then along the way, I'm gonna pick up a casket for water.
Okay, cool. So the casket of water, a casket of water. Okay, I gotta do some math. But to figure out how much that's gonna cost, how much water it's gonna hold. But yeah, you pick up breakfast. The breakfast is gonna cost you maybe a 2 coppers. Very cheap, filling breakfast. It's like a normal street food. You got some like greased up couscous in there as well.
Yes, breakfast of champions.
Freaking deep fried couscous. It's a travesty to the noble world, but to most people, it's amazing after a night of heavy drinking. So,
Wonderful.
you're eating while also waiting for your casket of water being filled up,
Yep.
by a vendor who is also trying to figure out math with his little abacus, as it is me in the world now. Okay.
So, do you want me to just give you 2 silver or 5? I kind of
Well,
got people to meet.
hold on. I need to give you precise change. I don't like having extras.
That's a shrewdly nice businessman.
I will go ahead and say that 3 silvers will suffice, and then I will give you the total amount of water uses when you guys are adventuring.
Perfect.
Perfect. Okay. Cool. So he gives you this casket of water. I'm assuming you're going to make your way to the fortune hall.
Yep. With my deep fried couscous,
Okay.
just eating along the way. Just hi. If I run into Gunther, hey Gunther.
Yeah, you see Gunther and goes like, "Well, good morning, Ox. Ah, deep fried couscous. You must have had a heavy night of drinking, I see.
I don't stop.
Ah, that's what I'm talking about. On to another adventure, I guess.
Yeah, we gotta figure out if goblins can swim.
I've heard that rumor go on for the past 20 years. People say it's true. People say it's not. I can't tell.
We're gonna
Some
find out for certain.
Well, let me know if you can actually figure out the grand puzzle of can desert goblins answer.
So we'll figure it out.
I know you will. Well, you have a good day, Ox.
You too, Gunther. Bye bye. And I make my way to the fortune hall.
Okay. Tab, it's going to cost you 2 silvers for your meal at the Fortune Hall. Unfortunately, they serve modest food, and they're not going to take coppers. So just to let you know, unless you wanted to buy some cheap vendor food along the way for like
No,
1 copper.
pretty hungry, so
Okay,
let's
cool.
go with that.
Cool. All right. So you all meet at the Fortune Hall lobby. You all find yourselves at some table, some lawn table. There are quite a bit of freelancers making their way in to gather their probably daily contracts. You know, you gotta do them dailies on the fly. Gotta keep up with XP and stuff like that. Um, the bars are slowly opening up, but you all are sitting together, ready to plan your day of adventure.
All right, so good morning, everyone. I've got a couple questions before we go out. A, does anyone know anything about goblins? Because
No.
I don't. I mean, I've run into them, but they kind of stay away. You know, tribes do that.
Well, I asked a nice fellow if he knew anything about goblins. He said they act like normal goblins, but I don't know if I fully believe him. Do you drink lots of water though?
Oh, okay.
The They will try to kill you in the desert with the desert.
Just don't know. Just know how to be in the desert. That's all you got to do. Hey, speaking of which, Sterling,
Hmm?
you look different than the ones that I've seen, so I didn't know at first. But are you a Warforged?
Yeah.
I haven't seen one of you in like, how old am I? 9 years. Saw him when I was a kid, before
Ah,
before I came here.
all right.
So I just need to know. So you're like you're I don't know. I don't know what you are. I just know that you guys exist and that's cool.
Well, I appreciate that.
Well, awesome. And I finally figured out you do not have a fancy spear. You have a firearm.
Yeah.
I saw those when I was a kid too. I didn't know what they were. Someone said not to play with it, so I didn't.
Uh, I don't know quite how to use it perfectly. You
Well,
might have realized.
accidents happen. You didn't have to tell me that. Now I'm worried every time you pick the damn thing up.
Uh, it's probably a good idea to be cautious of it. I mean,
So don't be near you, and don't be near where you're shooting. Understood. I got this.
it,
So Tav,
Yeah.
are we ready? Do we have a plan? Are we? So actually, I've got an idea, and I don't know how this is gonna work. So let's do a democratic vote. I have two options that I've thought of. A, we can just immediately kill the goblins and be done with it, which seems, you know, to the point. Or two, I don't know much about goblins, but they seem intelligent enough. Maybe we could demand to speak with their leader and see if we can make a deal for them to go away.
Yeah. Maybe. I'm gonna. Whoa.
Because it
Yeah.
didn't. The contract we got didn't say we had to kill them, right? It just said we
What?
had to deal with them.
Um. I'm waiting right here now. We should eliminate or drive them away.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Let's try the diplomatic approach. If not, I can challenge their leader to one on one combat.
Might work.
Or I might die. But either way, you'll have a story.
I,
Yeah, but I would rather you live than have a story.
Okay, so here's the thing I'm not a paladin, alright? I've seen them. They're real nice. I'm not that. So if you see it going sideways, Sterling, shoot him in the face.
yeah, I got that much. Just
Alright,
Now,
perfect. I think we've come up with a plan.
that's a
We can
perfect plan.
we can reassess when we get there to see what we're dealing with, I guess.
that's. I mean, it's something, I guess.
Diplomatic approach. If that doesn't work, you shoot him in the face. I think we've got this.
About the new PES.
This is going to go perfect.
All right. So, do we know which direction we're supposed to head out?
What was it? It was near the southern dunes, I think. Where is my map?
So,
Where's the fuck?
you would know the Southern Dune. It's a region not too far away from where your tribe is.
Oh,
But obviously, Dagny has always, she's always like, the deserts and sands is evil. We need to watch out. Do not let the evil, take your heart and stuff like that. So
yes.
she's always warned everyone in the tribe to not go near, especially the southern dunes. Um, from what she told you, let's see. Go ahead and make a quick. Actually, hold on. Yeah, you just know that Dogny has warned about that area. Mostly because there's a lot of dune jackals there. If you guys remember, dune jackals is quite the majority pest in the deserts around Macerna region. They're basically jackals, like small little dogs, except they have scale-like flesh. They have fur as well, but it's mostly somewhat scale-like as well, especially near the tip of their tails, where they can sort of harden it to make a sort of jagged knife. But the reason why they also have scales is because from a distance they can use their scales to refract sunlight, which is it's normally always sunny in the desert, especially during the day, to make themselves appear invisible, which makes them quite the threats to travelers who do not know how it operates or just aren't prepared to deal with a pack of them. Especially if it gets too close and they're just, oh shit, we lost track of them, and then boom, they're right there within 10 feet away. Um, but along with that, Dogny always said that there were evil spirits that sort of patrolled and like meandered and wandered aimlessly around this region of large dunes and protruding sand boulders called the Southern Dunes. It's always perceived as dangerous. So you may have gone there, but you may not have traversed the entirety of the region. So, but you would have some experience, just to let you know.
I know how. So I know how to get there.
Yeah, pretty much.
So I know how to get there, and
Okay.
I have heard from a very respectable person that it's a cursed place.
Sounds
And
nice.
while I don't believe it till I see it. She's been through some stuff, so she may know things I don't know. So let's just approach it with caution, get in and get out. That
Yeah.
that's my advice. So I can get us in that direction. Um, how far away is it?
Uh, it will take if by foot. By foot, it's a 14-hour journey. It's way south of the city. By horse, it's almost half of that, but still roughly 8 hours. Or sorry, by camel. You probably want a camel over a horse in this situation.
Yes.
So yeah.
So we
Okay.
definitely need a camel.
So we can traverse there pretty quick if we hire some camels. I will try to negotiate this time. I mean, we got a decent deal last time, but I think that guy still ripped us off.
Yeah.
um, or we can go by foot. It just takes like I don't know, 4 hours longer. Either way, we're gonna have to take a break halfway there. So
But would it be better to like conserve energy using camels rather than walking all the way there?
that's true. We definitely need. If we have to chase him down, I'd rather not have to do it on foot.
Yeah.
So let's go to the camel renter.
Oh God.
Not the same as yesterday.
Is there
Another
a
one.
different camel renter?
No, no, trust me. I'll talk to the guy in the back.
So you would all know that each of the gates, so the western, eastern, southern gates, all have their own stables and liveries. So you can always there's at least three options. So you know one option to the east is one you don't want to go to right now. So there's definitely a different stable master at the southern gate.
Okay. So let's
Okay,
let's try our luck at the other ones just to see what the cost is.
sure. So you all make your way to the southern gates at your. Unfortunately, there's just so much people. It's just the city's so busy, so it takes a little bit to get there. Pushing your way through the crowds there, or making their way to the Canal Bazaar. Eventually, you make your way to the Southern Gates, where you find the same. No, I was kidding. uh, no, you find a rather lanky human woman with long amber hair. She's wearing just normal sort of khaki robes. She has a turban on to protect her head from the sunlight. She seems to be pouring some water for some camels and horses to drink, and she turns to all of you as you approach. Ah, you here to buy or rent my camels or horses?
We would
Maybe a
like to
carriage?
rent if that's at all possible. We have quite the distance to go to the dunes,
Of
and
course.
we feel that it would be more advantageous for us to rent, since I don't have the money to for the upkeep of a camel.
Mm. Well,
so
they, yeah,
so what? How much would that run us for? I would say to be on the safe side, 3 days at most.
3 days renting my camels, taking into account that you would most likely feed and nourish my candles with your own wages or money. I would gladly rent you, I would assume three camels for
Yes,
all of you.
please.
I would gladly rent my camels for 15 silvers a day.
Wow, we totally got ripped off at the other gate.
Yeah.
We're
Oh,
gonna make a profit off this
are
job.
you talking about Eustace at the Eastern Gate?
Yes.
Yeah.
Eustace is on hard times. He got divorced recently, so he's trying to make back some of the money his wife stole from him. Well, took in the divorce. But it's unfortunate. Eustace is a good man, good goblin, but he's just going through some rough times.
You know what? I forgive him. I like that guy now. That's rough.
Mhm.
I
Okay.
don't.
Well,
Well, when you have 12 mouths to feed, it's sort of hard.
Yeah, but still.
I
You can
understand.
rip off other ones, but not me.
I understand. And
so
anyways, 15 silvers per day. So if you want to
Oh,
pay up front now, you can pay half now and then half back when you return my camels.
how much is it to buy a camel?
I charge roughly 25 gold per camel.
Oh. Just so we know.
Hmm. Sure.
yes, fair enough. So are we gonna take care of the our own expenses, or we want to pony up and just split whatever loot we find?
Hmm, I don't
I
really know. You,
So
what do you think, Sterling?
I think it might be better to split the loot.
Yeah, let's
o-
split the money.
okay. So you said silver. I am having to do math in my head.
Oh
So
God.
that's probably 45 silvers. So that's about three, four gold, and one silver, or five silver.
All right. Let's do 4 and 3 and remove. All right. I hand her the money and I wait to be handed the lasso to the camel.
She calls for one of her stable girls and boys to bring her camel. She says, "Thank you, and may the Primarch watch over you on your travels." The Primarch is the chief deity in this region. Sort of it's a Rasfa deity. There are obviously other deities and stuff like that, like Palor and all that. This is like a local deity for the Rasfians. Seems that she is a devotee to the Rasfian pantheon.
All right.
Um, but the Primarch's like the king or chief of the pantheon. But anyways, um, these stable girls and boys bring you your three camels, and all hardy. They're not. They don't have the quite the same attitude or personalities as the last three. But they seemed well and hardened and reliable. So,
Oh,
Do they have
so
saddles?
they have what like looks like to be like light rugs on the humps. It's not gonna help. Like as you sit on it, it doesn't really help as much, but it's something. You're gonna
It'd
have
be
to.
fun.
You can
Yeah,
take my saddle and put it on top of yours if it helps.
Thank you, Sterling.
it doesn't help.
What the fuck?
can can
Well,
we get Tav a saddle of some sort? She's
Oh,
got
I'm
delicate
so
sensibilities.
I'm so sorry. And she looks at her stable helpers. Just seriously, no. And she's like, go get the saddles for them. And they bring with you these very not nice, but like weathered and probably used quite often camel riding saddles that sort of fit in between two humps and has like a little leather, somewhat cushioned seat. So it is tolerable.
Yes.
Mm.
Mom,
Thank you.
yes.
We greatly appreciate it.
I'm so
Thank
sorry.
you.
They normally
Yes.
come with saddles. It makes no sense why they wouldn't.
Well, to be fair, we weren't sure because the last camels we rented, that would have been extra.
Ah,
I do think we got scammed in several ways at the last
You know
camel
what? I'm
place.
starting to like this guy even more.
if I see Eustace maybe sometime today, I'll be sure to just politely ask him to do a little bit better. I know that he's going through some things.
I've got
We'll
a
see
new
how it
friend to make.
goes. All right. So you're on your camels and you ride out through the southern gates and you see this barren stretch of just literal sand. The only nearby palm trees are near the walls of the city, and before you is this somewhat sand coated sandstone road that just leads straight into the horizon.
Let's do it, everyone.
All right.
Let's ride.
Right.
We all.
Nay. Wait, what just happened?
What the hell noise did my camel just make?
Uh,
It sounds very happy to see you.
It sounds like a horse.
So, um, let's see. It's going to take you roughly 8 hours by camel. Um, Ox is correct. You will have to take a break halfway there to one, water your cells and also allow your camels to rest slightly. Doesn't count as an hour rest. You don't have to count it as a short rest, so don't have to worry about that. Maybe like 10 to 20 minutes, and then you can continue onward. You don't want to, even though the camels are fully loaded with water, you don't want to overwork them, especially in this dry heat that is probably now reaching around 100, 120, 130 by, let's see, it's already 4 hours, so about noon. So it's already about midday. So we're at like peak dryness and heatness out in the desert.
So if we come across any small areas where there's watering holes or small oases, that's where I think we'll take our first break when we find one, so that the camels can drink a little bit as well and relax.
That's fine. Yeah, you find a relatively small watering hole where some caravans have also stopped too. A lot of them are just like wandering, or not wandering, but traveling merchants from the town, or sorry, the city of Tersoka. Tersoka is this city in like the middle of the basically central sands of the Grand Province, uh, but it's also a vital halfway mark for a lot of traveling merchants and caravans. After resting there for 10 20 minutes, you press onward. Eventually, you reach the outskirts of the southern dunes. The southern dunes, just like how you remembered back in the day, Ox, large, sloping, probably over 30 to 60-meter high slopes of just bright yellow sand. You see just somewhat the tops of protruding large sand boulders and rocks. Um, as you sort of navigate around some of the outskirts of the southern dunes, you do see that there are some like little inlets that you can like walk your way in, but eventually it will lead you to just more sand dunes and sand. So, from what you remember, Ox, there are some areas that sort of shield you from the sun, sort of like large towering boulders, some like rocky alcoves that's built underneath and in the sand dunes. Um, but also, probably the most menacing thing about this is because they are sand dunes and the sands shift all the time. There is no wind, but I don't know if it's a natural or magical phenomena, but the sand does move randomly. So like one sand dune could slowly just like fall and another one could slowly rise. And it creates a changing environment. So like the paths are never set and it's sort of hard to remember where you go through, especially if you go straight into the middle of this dune region.
This is why you navigate by the sun.
So you are all sort of just out there on the outskirts looking at these ever changing, shifting sand dunes and appearing rock boulder or stone boulders and disappearing stone boulders underneath the sands. What do you want to do? What's your plan?
So we've got to look for signs. Does it didn't give us any? Do we have a point of contact? Do we have anything other than just make them go away?
I don't think so. It doesn't say anything on this contract about it.
Okay. So if we're gonna do the diplomatic approach, maybe one of us, me, since I'm not afraid to take a whacking, one of us is the bait, and we try to draw them out.
Yeah, that could work.
But
And we
you,
can hide a little
yes,
bit away.
because that way they will only think there's one person. Easy pickings, but we'll be able to either mount a surprise attack or deal with this in a different way. So I'm hoping for nonviolence because murder isn't fun. It's just a necessary evil sometimes.
So
It
I
So
can be
will
fun.
I will say real quickly, we're gonna go ahead and start a skills challenge.
okay,
And so this skill challenge is sort of I already have it all set, but it's also going to rely heavily because if you guys don't know what a skills challenge is, it's usually you nominate one person every time you make a check of some sort, which in this case it's probably going to be survival in my from what I'm thinking. It's going to be survival, so you're going to have to nominate somebody. Now, in the way skill challenges work, skill challenges are to sort of one pass the narrative time, but also accomplish a goal with risks. So I'll go ahead and start off what the skills challenge will entail. So the skill challenge goal is to probably find these goblins, right? To find these goblins or at least see them visibly. But it'd probably be a safer bet to find wherever they are or a location or area where they could be. Like I said, Aksh, you know this is a very large region of sand dunes and it's always changing. So finding them quickly is probably the best.
yes,
However, the risk, obviously, in the stake is if you do not find them in like a certain amount of time, one, you'll probably waste a lot of resources, and those will result in failures, i.e., complications, along with random encounters. And with random encounters means more resources are being expended because obviously after a fight, you're probably gonna be chugging a lot of water and probably eating some food and stuff like that. So to succeed in the skills challenge, you're going to need to have 3 successes. And if you fail, and 3 failures will mean that you failed, and that would result in you spending a majority of the day, a majority of your water, and no luck in finding the goblins at least today. But it does put you in a precarious situation because at night you'll be low on water, far from home, far from anything relatively safe. Though you could make your way back to that small oasis, but traveling through the night can also be dangerous as well. So those are the stakes. So I will go ahead and allow you to sort of set the DC. I have a set DC, and obviously I've also lowered it because Ox, you do know the region somewhat, but not fully.
right.
So the DC was already slightly lowered. However, it also could be lowered or increased depending on your game plan. So your game plan so far, and we can talk about it as players right now. I assume is you're going to use Ox as a means of distraction or bait or lure and you guys are going to hide relatively nearby to see in still sight of Ox, and then if they take the bait, that's when you attack, or that's when you engage in some sort of something.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Yeah.
I just want to say,
You nailed it.
is that the actual plan, or did you guys, now knowing that this is a skills challenge and knowing the stakes, did you want to alter it?
We I think it would be good if we try to find signs of them and then set up the lure,
Sure,
rather than just going blind into it.
sure, of course. What about
I
everyone
think
else? Okay,
I think it might be a good idea to like try to find their bait before we actually put any plan into action,
sure,
so we
Yeah.
can actually have like, an area to lure them into.
sure. Okay, so I'll go ahead, and with that, I will go ahead and now alter the DC slightly. I will not tell you if it's bad or worse. Okay. All right. With that, like I said, you will need to succeed 3 times on these skills checks to succeed in finding them, or if you fail 3 times, the jig is up. So first things first, you need to elect who will be taking the skills challenge, and the skills is going to be the same. The skill check, it's going to be survival. So the survival is going to be used in the first check to hopefully find a trail or maybe some sort of natural sign or man-made sign to indicate that the goblins are relatively nearby in the general area. If not, you might have to move on further deeper into the southern dunes. So who would want to be the person to? And here's the thing: you can switch between each other, but it's probably preferable to find the person who has the best proficiency in the skill set. In all honesty, it
Right.
just
So
so
in the effort of not being meta gamey, because
yeah,
I find that we should probably figure that out in character, whether or not like is this something you're good at tracking and
sure,
stuff like that.
sure.
So I'm decent. Like I've lived out here. I'm pretty good at finding stuff. I'm not the best, but it's something that I was taught growing up.
Right. I'm very fresh here, and I was trained to be a fighter and not really like a tracker. So I don't think I'm really especially great at it. Although I can go places without feeling the heat really, and I don't need water or food. So it's up to you whether or not you want to go.
Okay, what about you, Tav? Do you have any training in tracking or surviving in harsh places?
No. I lived a pretty comfortable life for the most part. I haven't really been out and doing stuff like this. So,
So I think it's me.
yes.
All right, I will make the survival checks.
Yeah.
Okay. So, like I said, we'll go ahead and start off with you, or the first person, i.e., Ox, to go ahead and try and look for some possible trails in the sand,
All
which
right.
is just a crazy concept already. So go ahead and make the first skills check.
All right.
It is a survival check.
All right. 12?
So after spending, okay, so let me ask, how are what is the process of Ox looking for trails? How about that?
So
Let's start off with that.
as we're walking through the edge of the dunes here, we're looking for I keep getting I can't, that voice is hard to drop sometimes.
I
um,
bet.
um, so I'm looking for signs of either like actual like physical signs, things that don't occur naturally in the desert. So if there's rock formations that look like they were put there on purpose, if there is an actual like I don't know, a goblin put up a signpost. Or if we manage to find a certain spot where oh my goodness, there's actually footprints here right this second, like that sort of stuff. I'm looking for things that look completely out of the ordinary for this.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah, of course. So also out of basic knowledge, and I think also, well, for you especially, since you are sort of like that kind of like tracker, goblins and mostly like tribal people put up indicators to help keep paths. Especially out here in the desert, it makes the most sense. It's just common knowledge to put up some sort of signal or sign or statue or effigy somewhere to indicate that you're close to home or you're close to this or this is the dangerous path. So that's like the first instinct that you would do. So perusing through the sand dunes, going over some big ones, going around some small ones, walking along some cliff edge or some rocky edges that has sort of been exposed by the shifting sands of this dune area. And Tev and Ox, you're relatively nearby. I would say that you're probably walking near, like relatively from a distance or something with the camels. Or did you guys post real quick? Did you guys like tie up the camels somewhere that is safe in your mind?
I
You
would
could
have
put them
kept.
like under a boulder or something. Or you would kept you stayed on your camel.
No, I would have left mine in a safe place. At least something we could get back to pretty quickly, just in case. Uh, but out of harm's way.
Okay, so Um, unfortunately, you cannot find any sort of effigies or rock formations or signs. You know they have to exist. If they're out here, they have to be using that. But because the sand dunes here move at relatively fast speeds and the sands are ever changing, some of the rocks that's like say like after like an hour of walking past this exposed rock formation, you walk back around and it's already half concealed by the moving sand, and you're just like, fuck. So unfortunately, that is a failure. So that is
Nope.
one failure. Now I need for the first fail. For you, Ox, you may have gotten a little bit frustrated. You're pretty good at this. And I know that you're a pretty easy, carefree person, and you're used to this kind of weather. But because you now have people who can't survive as well as you, and they sort of rely on you, you sort of pushed yourself to find these. You maybe you rush yourself, and you begin to look in areas that didn't make sense before, and you sort of wasted some time, and you after about a couple hours you realize that you've drinking a little bit too much of your water supply in the process. So, and with Tav and the Warforged, with Sterling, sorry, you have a name, you are a person. Um, Tav, you're obviously suffering on the sun, and it's already 2 o'clock in the afternoon. You probably as well go through a lot of your water supply waiting for Ox to find some sort of trail. And Sterling, how? How is there coarse sand in everything once again? How? So unfortunately, the first complication from that failure results in um, you losing half of your water supply already. So that's the first one. And a lot of these complications vary, and obviously I have a list of what the complications are, but thankfully not as bad. Doesn't directly affect your characters for now. It could affect your characters later, but Ox, you do return to the relative area where you can see Tav and Sterling and for both Tav and Sterling, it seems that Ox had no luck in finding any trails or something.
No.
Sure, these guys are good. We're gonna have to. I'm gonna have a chat with their leader, let them know they're doing a great job.
There's some
So,
water, but it seems some sand got in it. So
you should like. Can you guys? Do you guys have like a sealant? You can just like seal off the crevices. I don't know how you guys work.
It's called flex tape.
Seal
Flex seal. Ah! Sorry. Grandma Boogie Boogie's flex seal.
So I'm not. I didn't have any luck. Like this, it's just shifts too fast out here, and I don't know. Um, I just couldn't find anything. Um, I think. I mean, we can keep looking. We can try a different area. Um, I would assume they're not around here, like directly, but I don't want to go further in unless we see some tail signs. Because that would just get us killed. Um,
Yeah.
how far
Well,
away is my tribe?
Oh, probably about half a week, so 4 days away.
Fair enough. I figured I'd ask now rather than like try to think up something stupid later.
You're good.
Okay. Um. So we do have we spent 2 hours. Uh. doing this. All right, so I have an idea. So we can keep looking and hope for a better outcome. We can move a little bit, but I think while we're looking, we should definitely be on the lookout for you know, life sources. We need to find maybe some oasis. Because we need water. So
Yeah.
if we can find some water, we might find tail signs of them in the area. Um, because everything needs water. I don't care if you're a goblin or a monkey or a warforged. No, never mind. That one's wrong. Or a halfling, or I'm just gonna go through everything I know. So let's go ahead and stop that now. Um, Everything needs water for one reason or another. Oh, I figured it out. The warforged needs to shower to get the sand out of his bits. So everything needs water. So let's look for a small oasis or a small like life-giving area that maybe we could utilize as a post here that will help us maybe draw them out or at least find signs that maybe they use it on occasion.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Guessing if we do find a sign that is from a goblin, that we maybe should be a little more cautious about it. Then I don't fully trust a goblin sign telling me where to go in a desert. You get that? I just don't fully trust it. If we do find one,
Well, you got to think about it. If there's two signs, there might be some code there. But if there's one, why would they lie to their own people? It's just how things are out here. Like, I mean, worst case scenario, what they do is they watch their roads. So if someone's coming down it that they don't know that somehow figured out their signs, guess what? Ambush city. But we're not going to do that. They'll go ambush city and they'll be like, we'll be easy pickings. There's one idiot down there. And then I'll be like, not that idiot they thought I was going to be. Fair?
I'll trust you on this one. I think I think you know more about these parts than I do.
I
Yeah.
try. I got hit a lot when I made mistakes. So I try to think these things through. Not like punch in the face. They slapped me in the head. I got a few of those. Oh, I
But what they
cheat.
didn't know is that he actually does. Kidding. All right, so Ox, go ahead and make another survival check. Now you're looking for continued signs along the way, but more importantly, some water, something where you can live off.
That's better. 14.
Heck yeah! So that is one success. Thankfully, in a relatively shorter amount of time, you Ox lead the path, or you lead the group down a very somewhat secluded but also somewhat exposed path. So the sun is hitting most of you, but thankfully there is an exposed sort of stone rock wall, like a sand rock wall that you can sort of ride around to catch some shade. And eventually it leads further in, unfortunately, maybe fortunately, into the southern dunes, and you find a small little pond, a little small oasis with some minor shrubs around there, some palm trees, maybe like two or three. That's sort of in this sort of small, secluded, rocky, sandy area. So that is one success, one fail. Awesome. You do get to replenish some of your water, so you actually can replenish your water supplies.
Woo!
Okay.
Nice. Yeah.
All right.
So what's the yeah, go ahead.
So obviously this is a place. Um, so
Oh,
I
I'm
mean,
sorry. Real quick. You also did, like I said, keep track of like goblin signs, and you do find a small little effigy near one of the palm trees. That would indicate that this is obviously a place where they would come, and it's relatively safe. You don't know exactly what these effigies obviously stand for. I don't think you speak goblin. You speak giant, right?
yep.
So unfortunately, you don't know what it exactly means. But you can safe to assume that this is a relatively safe like oasis from like dangerous creatures, like specifically dune jackals. So, however, there is a couple of paths that lead like sort of into these like rocky corridors, these little like sort of like condensed narrow passages through the sand dunes. But there's no sign of whether which one is going to lead you to maybe hopefully where the goblins are. Just to let you know
Okay,
with that success.
so I'm gonna I'm gonna study the effigy. I'm gonna see if it's pointing in a particular direction or if it has something that indicates maybe there's maybe it's just dumb enough that they put a specific arrow on it.
Make an insight check
All right, insight. Oh, that's terrible.
or
Oh,
perception. But I guess it really doesn't matter. It's both wisdom based. But
yeah. So
unless you have
9.
9, you look at the effigy and then you just immediately turn your head and it points straight at like in between two paths at a wall. And you're just like, well, it's either those two,
Well,
I
so
guess.
it's one of them, I think. Anybody here read Goblin?
No.
No.
All right. So wait a minute, wait a minute. I'm gonna take a wild stab in the dark because I have no idea if this is true. What is the point of a magic magnifying glass?
To magically
To look at
magnify?
things, but magical.
Okay, so I'm gonna take a stab in the dark. Why don't you pull that out and put it over this sign here?
Sure.
I don't know if this is gonna work, but he said it's an inert magical item, and I don't know what that means, except that it's just not currently functioning. And in my brain, you use it to look at words or small things. Maybe, maybe you can, maybe you can use it to translate. I have
Sure.
no idea.
It's worth a try.
Sterling, I would assume after Ox is recommended, you take out the inert magical magnifying glass. You want to use it on the effigy.
Yeah. Uh, do I make a check for it, or
As you put it over the effigy, just a magnifying glass.
can I try doing an insight check on it?
On
On
the
the sign or the effigy?
the effigy. Yeah, you can make an insight check. What is the intent? So are you making an insight check to determine if the magnifying glass is going to do anything, or are you making an insight check to determine if the effigy is if you're making a check on the effigy itself to see if it indicates where it could possibly lead to these goblins?
I want insight check to see if I can find out where it leads, like
Sure.
which path's correct.
Okay, sure. So you still have the magnifying glass in hand, but you sort of look at and inspect and try to have a somewhat gut feeling about this. Go ahead, and make an insight check.
That's pretty good.
Heyo. So based on training back in the homeland, Sterling, you were raised and trained to survive and navigate as well. Maybe not you maybe weren't the best out of the recruits, but you do know how to handle yourself for the most part. You don't know much about goblins. You never faced goblins on a relatively larger scale. You've been mostly facing humans. You may have faced some goblins in uniform, but they were mostly scouts and they had intent, and they weren't just raiders back in the homeland. Looking at this effigy, it does make sense that they would put some sort of indicator here to say that this is a relatively safe place to drink water from. No creatures so far have been seen that are dangerous. But at the same time, it could mean something else, but you don't know really. You have this other feeling like it could also mean something else dangerous, but I'm going to say it's just normal creatures. As you look at the surrounding, there are what looks to be 3 or 4 different trails or sort of rocky corridors that lead out of this area. As you sort of look more intently at each trail, the two on the right, which are the closest to the effigy in terms of rate like radius or in terms of yeah proximity, um, they sort of lead further in towards the deserts, which could indicate that there are probably hope maybe, and this is by your insight check, maybe more larger oases or maybe even caves or places where they could hide. Being out, you've noticed so far that the dunes itself do not have, they're just sand, just dunes. But if there's rock formations and rock stones already this far inside to the southern in these dune this dune region, maybe there are more. and the shortest distance to that would make the most sense to you right now.
So the path we're going down, or
There's two paths that you can see that maybe would lead, but you don't know which one. Both seem relative to the same length from as far as you can see.
I like to consult my friends here. Those two paths, I feel like look a little better than the rest. They look more plausible to lead somewhere nice and like maybe like a cave where they could hide. So we've got to choose, really.
So it's a 50-50 chance.
Should we
Woo.
toss a coin?
Uh,
Flip a coin?
actually, I've got an idea. I go over to the two pathways, and I'm gonna check the walls to see if there's any wear that isn't caused by natural sand. That could involve, someone tripping and falling against it. Sometimes they get like bored and they're just like whacking it with a sword or a stick or whatever. Just anything that shows that something has been traveled more often than the other.
Go ahead and make an investigation check.
All right. Oh, good.
Yeah, because you're now looking for like actual evidence in place.
Four.
Oh no.
For
So,
there's a lot of cracks on these walls and these sandstones. But from your investigating, it doesn't seem like either path would indicate more travel or more activity. At least from what you're looking through this test. And this probably cost you a good like 20 minutes, 30 minutes. I'll say it wouldn't take that long.
sweet. Plus, we're still to water, so I'm fine.
Yeah. That's good. You guys are all filled in water, so you guys are good to go.
Okay, so I can't tell. I don't see any difference in the wear and tear between these two. So I guess it really is just you said that it's the one that's the least distance makes sense, right?
I thought the one with the more distance would make sense to lead to a cave.
Oh, I thought the closer it was the better it would be sense like making sense wise. Oh, okay. So, it's one of these two places. We don't know which one. What can we tell about the path, and does it just like go on and then kind of veer off in different directions from where we're
Both
standing?
both paths seem to go downward, and eventually will make a turn going the relatively same direction, going right. So it's gonna go further straight for about 30 feet or 40 feet, and it's gonna start sloping downward for about 60 to 80 feet, and it's gonna slowly curve right both of them. As you look at the path and you look above at the dunes, you can definitely see that it's sort of riding along some sort of rocky wall, some sort of stone wall. So maybe, I mean, both paths lead there. So you're gonna have to either spend more time investigating to see if you can discern which path was used more, if which path is correct, or you take a chance. But Sterling's insight definitely seems like they may be residing in some sort of cave. And if they are residing in a cave, it definitely would be along this rocky stone, sort of exposed rock in the sand.
Okay, so let's do that. Let's just go towards the rocky stone, I guess. That makes more sense.
Sure. What about everyone else?
Yeah, let's
Yeah,
go.
sounds good.
Okay. So I'm gonna have to have, unless you want someone else to do it, Aksh, you can go ahead and make another survival check. So we'll continue the skills challenge.
All right. Woo! 18.
Heyo.
Yay.
Even better, with now that your two successes, one failure, even better because you're now following this rocky wall. Eventually, down that slope as it turns, you see that. Well, which path did you take? Oh, you took the one the closest. Okay, so you took the farthest one. All right. So you take that farthest one. You now come across, as you make your way with your camels. There's a lot more sort of garbage, debris. There's like broken arrowheads. There's actually some faded footmarks in the stone. And the stuff that you were trying to find up before where the oasis was is now more apparent here. You can see probably like somebody of short stature may have maneuvered here, and their swords or whatever. There are some minor claw marks as well, but you definitely see more traffic and more activity down this path. And you ride that path for about 45 minutes or so. And thankfully, especially for you, Tav, it is so much cooler in this area.
Nice.
As you continue down, you all begin to notice that you're going deeper and deeper into this like little crevice area. But eventually, and unfortunately for Tav, it does open up into another sandy dune area again. But you do have a relative trail that you can follow. So you just continue down or you continue onto some more sand dunes, and then you find more rocky slopes, and you just sort of hang as close as you can to this rocky wall, and you do find some steps or some trails. Okay. So 3, 4. So go ahead and make another final or well another uh
I
willpower.
hope it's the final one.
Well, I don't think so too.
Yeah!
Oh,
Nice.
22.
That's what we like to see.
So, like I said, it does go back into this open desert area, but this time as you come up to this exposed desert area, there is to the right, probably about 60 feet to your right, looks like to be a continuation of the trail, that rocky wall trail that you were following. Or to the left, you can see actual, relatively fairly recent markings of looks like to be small goblinoid feet, but you also see drag marks as well, as if like they were dragging humanoids. And then you see these rough paw prints of what looks like to be some sort of creature with some sort of mount that they're probably using. And you can see in the far distance to the left, probably around 80 feet or so, is this big ass boulder. And you can see just faintly behind it rising smoke from a campfire. But I'll give you the option. You can go to the left and probably find these goblins right here, or to the right, which could lead to their actual hideout. And this is probably like out of all three of your insights. Like, well, there's a scout camp over there, or we could follow this trail to the hideout. Up to you. The
Okay.
contract didn't specifically say how to deal with them. It just said deal with desert goblins. So it's really up to you if you want to consider dealing with those goblins as part of your contract and finishing.
Okay. Uh, so chances are, if we, this is me. Okay. So we've got two places. We've got a scout camp over here. We've got the main camp over there. Um, I want to see if I don't know if it's a survival check or whatever. I want to see if I can figure out what their mount is based off of what I'm seeing in the sand.
Go ahead and make a nature check. And the DC will be lowered since you should know this, or you would maybe have a good
Well, I hope it's something because I've got a +0. All right, 5.
Ah, fine.
Boom.
I will say that the common mounts they have out here are what is known as sand wargs, quite dangerous creatures, but they're not as fast and agile. And when Ox brings up wargs, Sterling and Tav, you both would maybe know that. Maybe Sterling, you would know it, but wargs back in DS are a lot faster, a lot more scarier. But here in Broseus, they're not as fast, they're not as deadly, and they're mostly used as just that mounts. But at the same time, it doesn't mean that they're not less dangerous. But for you, Ox, it's safe to assume that these mounts are probably sandworks of some sort.
Okay.
And they also appear more lizard-like than like wolf and feral that you would normally see a warg look like.
Okay. Um, so we need to look for a place for you guys to hang out and cover my butts. All right.
Yeah.
So, um, is there like an overlook or like where they can get on top of something and be able to barrel down on them in the event that something goes terribly awry?
So right now in the area that you're all currently in, you are just now exiting a path of this rocky corridor path, leads to this upper area of desert, and then to your right, obviously, it goes down again, following that same path. But you're all in this sort of just open sort of desert dune area, and the only big thing that would provide such cover is that massive boulder that's probably right next to their camp. However, you can't tell from here just yet if there's any more rocks or protruding stones that you could have Sterling or Tav sit on. You would all have to get closer. So I'll go ahead and put the map on roll 20 to help that out.
All right.
So let me know when you're all on the map.
All right. I see it.
So for those that can see, you can see that there's some damage here, but as you get closer, and it's probably around 5 o'clock in the afternoon now, there are some now rocks as you get closer to this large boulder in the center. And you can see that there are some rocks, but you can also see that there's these large sand dunes that are also blocking a good portion of all your visions. So it's also a risk of getting any closer for right now. Obviously, you might want to scout a little more, not everybody, but maybe one or two of you, to see if there are goblins on guard and any more other good areas to put Tav and Sterling. So up to you, what you guys want to do.
So I can do the whole thing where I'll be the distraction. I mean, if someone's gonna scout, um, okay, so I can go in and I'll scout ahead, and that way, if they find me, I'll just I'll just go ahead and start it. While I'm distracting them, maybe you guys find a way around, because you know, I'm pretty distracting. Like this, let's just be honest.
Yeah,
Big
you
guy.
are.
I'll just be like, "Take me to your leader" or whatever.
Yeah, we can maybe just hang back a little.
Yeah, you guys hang back, and I'll just go ahead and go forward. Let's do a hand sign. So if I do, okay, how about this? If you hear a whistle, it means they found me. And if you just see a hand sign like a thumbs up, that means that there's nothing there. So just keep an eye on me. Do we need any other hand signs?
Attack, maybe?
Uh, the attack will just, you'll just see me get real pissed and swing at somebody. Is that fair?
Yeah, that's fair.
All
Yeah.
right. I think we've got this one figured out.
I will say from where you guys are on the map right now, this little rock boulder stands about 10 feet up in the air. This boulder over here stands about 10 feet up in the air. But the big massive rock formation in the center stands about 40 to 50 feet up in the air.
Okay.
And then obviously the sand dune's about 30 feet up, like slope. Same thing with this sand dune. That one's probably like a little smaller, 20. This one's definitely like 45, like 40 feet up in terms of angle or slope.
Gotcha. All
So
right.
where do you
Well,
want to go on the map?
so I am gonna go. I'm thinking about going through here, just like right down the middle.
Okay, go ahead and are you just gonna like run your way through, or are you gonna try to sneak around, like sneak
Well,
or
I'm
walk
I'm
casually?
gonna walk casually, like I just belong here, because I
Uh,
find that that works in most situations.
So I'm gonna move your character for you. So
Okay.
as you get to this precipice of where the slope right here ends, I will go ahead and reveal to them on the map for everybody. Um, you see now rocky little outcrop protruding sort of like rock slow. You see a goblin up there with a short bow sort of looking survey the area. So you didn't go past the sand dunes, so you just like oh, you stop yourself. And I'll go ahead and reveal a little bit more of the map over here. All right. And then since you actually can't see from there, I'll have to do this as well. See your angle, blah blah blah. Go. This should work out. Okay. And then you can see that. Besides the goblin up on the hill who doesn't seem to have spotted you, Ox, you can see there's another boulder on this other side of this big ass boulder. But you also see protruding barricades of sticks, sharpened sticks, and stuff like that. Definitely common for barriers or barricades of some sort. So it seems that's where the general camp would probably be behind this boulder. And I'll go and post a picture of what this goblin looks like, what these goblins sort of generally look like in an
Okay.
NPC appears. They basically wear nothing. They just have like sashes on, and they have like sashes around their heads to indicate with different colors to indicate what tribe they're from. But that's pretty much what they mostly look like.
Oh, right on.
But yeah, you see this one right there. He just sort of steps forward, and he has a little dainty little short bones, just looking around with a grim face.
Okay. So
And I will say on this side over here, I forgot. I need to reveal this area. Fucking fog of war. Um, you see another sort of rocky outcrop with another goblin also on guard with a short bow. He doesn't seem to see you right now, as that there is this large, 10-foot tall boulder sort of blocking your vision. So you're in a pretty good spot right now.
all right. So I see barricades. I see two goblins on guard. There's just two that I can see. I will assume that there's probably more, obviously in the camp. So I've got two options. Okay, so I'm gonna turn around, and very quietly, I'm gonna look at both Tav and Sterling and point in like the general directions of the two scouts, and then you say, do the ones up hand sign, and then another one, and point to that way. So kind of try to, figure out how to convey that there's one over there and there's one over there, and then give a thumbs up because they don't see me yet.
Both of you make insight checks. No, I was kidding. No, you both get the general idea that Ox has found two goblin sentries or goblins in view. And so far, yeah.
Okay. So I'm not stealthy. I'm gonna go ahead and all right, here we go. So uh I motion back to them, and I don't know how to convey try to find a good position, uh or split up to cover those two, or just do what you think is the best. And then I point at myself and I go, I'm walking in.
Oh god.
Okay.
Okay.
So I'm going to walk in and be like, "Excuse me, everybody." I'm just going to do that because that way everyone's attention's on me. They're not really paying attention to everybody else. I need to
So
speak with your leader.
so where are you going, over here, or are you going
I'm
over
gonna
here?
walk. I'm gonna walk towards this one, because I can see the barricades over there, which means that, and then that way, if they decide to shoot at me anyway, at least they both don't have a way to hit me. So I just pointed at the screen like an idiot. I want to go to here so
Go
that
ahead and move.
this guy over here can't shoot at me.
Sure. Yeah, go ahead and move your guy over there wherever you want to.
All right. So I'm
Can I
gonna.
move my guy
Yeah,
to any
we're
position?
we're not combat yet, but I wouldn't. You can go ahead and move your characters, but obviously don't get too crazy about it. Um, I don't want to give you too much advantage in placements if combat goes down.
Yes.
But anyways,
So I
yeah,
I figured that's safe for me to like block
sure,
off the guy off on the left, and
that's fine. Yeah.
then if anyone's gonna attack me, it's just gonna be that guy, and then I'll be like, "I said your leader, not you, dummy."
So Sterling, you're trying to. Are you going like? Are you just hiding behind it, or are you actually trying to like make your way up this sand dune slope to get to the top?
I kind of wanted to peer over the top to see what
Okay.
Tav or not Tav, Ox is doing.
It is 30 feet up as in terms of slope. Um, and it is sand. You are somewhat heavy as a warforge slash as a warforge. So go ahead and make go ahead and just make a dexterity check. Pretty good at that. Hell yeah. So at the expense of coarse sand getting even everywhere in your feet and your leggings, you have to sort of just dig in deep into the sand dune to climb up to the top. Um, and thankfully, you are relatively light and you're relatively dexterous, so you don't have. I'm not going to make you make athletic checks instead. I made you make a dex save or a dex check. So you make your way to the top, and you are you hiding, or are you just peering your head over the edge or the precipice?
I just want to take a peek over the edge. I don't want to like fully come out, but I do
Sure.
want to see this goblin or if I can
Yeah.
peer over and look at him.
As you peer over, you can see that you are a good 20 feet above this goblin on top of that sand dune. And you can actually peer down a little bit at this side of the goblin village. I'll go ahead, goblin village, goblin little camp. So I'll go ahead and expose that. And you can see that there are some barricades over here. You actually see some actual tents and stuff over here as well. What are you doing, Tav? Are you just sitting back, suffering the heat?
I wonder, will they see me if I move over? Can I not? What the fuck? Over. Why can't I?
If you just want to move your character, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, if I can move over here without them seeing me.
Go ahead and make
Or if-
a. Well, actually, since you're out of view, you're good. So you can't see this goblin over here because this sand dune is relatively high, probably about 10 feet higher than you right now. Unless you want to climb to the precipice of that sandhill to see if you can see. But right now, it doesn't seem like either the goblin over here or you can see each other. So you don't even have to make a stealth check. Oh, Tav said. Someone just took out Tav.
Not again.
Oh no.
Not again. All right.
Now I will just wait here till I
Okay.
hear something happen.
Okay, cool. All right. So, Ox,
Yep.
stage is yours.
Hello, everybody. I am here to talk to your leader. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance.
The goblin over you, who's about 25 feet up, looms over you and he has his bow fully drawn. He looks down at you.
Do you speak of the common?
Yeah.
Fair enough. Hey, I just wanted to introduce myself. I'm Ox. I'm me, and I would like to speak with your leader in a parley, please.
The goblin looks at you, then he immediately starts looking around the general area. I'm gonna go ahead and make a perception check with the goblin. That's not that straight. I need Sterling to go ahead and make a stealth check for me.
Okay. 19.
19. Okay. The goblin looks around. Who are you? What are you doing all the way out here?
I told you, my name's Ox. I'm out here because I would like to settle a dispute.
Go ahead and make a persuasion check. Or deception.
No,
I'll let you choose.
I'm
I'll let you
gonna
choose.
say persuasion because
Sure.
it is most certainly not. I'm not trying to lie to him. I'm trying to settle a dispute. That's how I see it.
Right. I'll give it to you.
All right, 13.
13. I'll go ahead and make my insights on that. The goblin, as you say that, the goblin still has his short bow drawn at you. You stay right there. I'm gonna go get the rest. See if we. Aye, and he starts calling back. Like he starts yelling. He's like, "We got a straggler over here." Um. So as he's yelling out to back behind him, what is everyone else? What are you doing in that moment, Ox?
I'm just gonna stand there. I've got I'm gonna say that I am at the very least ready to draw my glaive and rage if they do anything stupid.
Sure.
But I'm gonna try to play it off like I'm just here hanging out. I did what I said I was gonna do,
All right,
but I'm
Sterling.
prepared for someone to be a dick.
Okay, Sterling, what are you doing right now?
I like to prepare my gun, my firearm, to make sure bullets live in it.
And Tav, you do hear the muttered speaking of Ox and what probably sounds like muttered speech of goblins. What are you doing right now?
Yeah, I'm gonna climb up on the dune.
All right, go ahead
Yeah.
and make a dexterity check for me.
Dexterity. Oh. 9.
Ooh. You unfortunately you unfortunately sort of like trip up and fall down the slope back down to where you were. And you are stuck there for right now. You're not like stuck there. You just sort of like climb up, and then your foot gets lodged too deep into the sand dune, and you sort of just lose your balance and you fall backwards. So unfortunately, you do not get to the top of the sand dune. You're back to where you started. And we'll go ahead and continue on. The goblin over here is calling out, and for you, both. Well, first would be Sterling. Two goblins rushing out with scimitars out, sort of run over this way, and the goblin speaks in goblin. Oi, and the two goblins like, they point at you, and they're just the goblin's like, and the two goblins are like, oh, wait, who are you? Why are you armed and why are you here? Like, it makes no sense.
Okay, so I'm here to settle a dispute. I'm
Okay,
armed because I'm not stupid,
that's true.
and I just asked to speak with your leader in a parlay.
Well, we don't really do parlays, so um, we're gonna go ahead and let you go. But if you press the what's the term? Press the envelope. Is that what they call it? Press the parchment. We will like kill you.
So, okay, so this happens. I just look at them. I look at the one who's threatening me.
Right? He still has his bow. He's the only one that has his bow out with you.
I just look at him and I'm like, I'm trying to be civil. I said, let me speak to your leader. Intimidation.
Sure.
Woo! 16.
The two goblins who just appeared, who don't really fully know, and they haven't like they just met you. You see them sort of like step back a little bit as you pronounce yourself, and you sort of stick your chest out more profoundly. The goblin up top still has his arrow trained on you, and he's just like, doing that was hey, and the two goblins are just like, look, we gave you a chance, but if you're going to threaten us like that in our turf, and they sort of just like prepare to like charge you, like they get in that stance, like we're gonna have to take you down.
All right. And I go, I whistle as loud as I can, go, looks like this didn't work out. Say good night, goblins. And I
Okay.
rage.
Okay. So you are raging, and then we'll go ahead and roll for initiative.
All right. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and throw out my initiative real quick.
Initiative
15.
15. Okay. Initiative 10 and then 16. Okay, cool. So I think Tav, I think you're going first so far.
So far, yeah.
I think you are going first. And then Ox got a 15. And then Sterling got a 10. All right, so initiative goes Tav, Ox, Sterling, and then the goblins. Heck yeah. All right, so beginning with the encounter, Tav, you are up first. What would you like to do?
Yeah, I want to move to. Let's see. How long? It's 30 feet there. Yeah.
Remember, the goblin is up around 25 feet up, so Pythagorean theorem, 30 feet technically isn't the distance from you to the
Ah,
goblin. Just to let you know.
yeah, I'm gonna move a little bit over
Sure.
here. That
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
maybe I can reach.
Heck yeah.
And then I'm gonna cast
Magic?
magic.
Magic spells?
Additional. This I can't say it. Whispers, dissonant whispers.
Dissonant whispers. So you whisper a discordant melody that only one creature can hear, which is the goblin. What do you whisper? What does it hear?
You're gonna fucking die, bitch.
It's like every dissonant whisper I've ever heard. So,
Poor
it's-
goblin.
you are going to fucking die. Ah! Okay. So the spell is I need to make a wisdom saving throw against your DC. Okay.
Yeah,
Goblin's saving wisdom is a -1. Okay.
nice.
15 -1, unfortunately, is a 14.
Fuck.
Does that
It's
beat
a
your
thir-
DC?
My 13 is the DC.
Your DC is 13.
But
Damn.
they take, what is it now?
Takes half.
Honestly, half
3D
damage.
takes half of 3d6 psychic damage as immediately
So
uses
it
reaction.
takes
Oh,
7 half.
I don't use half. So, okay. Half and doesn't have to move away. Okay, cool. Perfect. Probably still will kill it, hopefully, I think. What's your damage roll? 7.
7. Oh,
So as the whispers of like you're gonna fucking die, so it sort of reverberates in the back of this goblin's mind. The goblin who had the tropo ready and aimed at Ox, just like "Ah!" shakes it off, but you can see that he's like profusely bleeding from both nostrils of his nose and his ears. He is still alive, but he is beaten, so he is below 1/4 of his health. So you did quite the damage, but he's still holding up strong.
he didn't die.
He didn't
Oh god, I lied to him.
Yeah, the guy's like, I'm not gonna die. Okay.
Maybe soon.
Movement. You still have some movement left, and then use your action, I believe, to cast that spell.
Yeah.
Still, or is it a bonus action?
It's an action.
It's an action. Okay.
Jo, action. Bonus action, give inspiration to Ox,
Okay.
and then I'm
Huh.
gonna,
Nothing good.
and then I'm gonna move behind the rock here.
Cool. What is your? How do you give inspiration to Ox? By the way.
Ox, fuck him up.
As she said, as she says that, some sort of barely transparent magical wind, but it carries towards you, and you just feel like her words resound even louder in your ears. Just like, oh, okay.
Got it.
So you have a bardic d6 of inspiration. All right. With that, Tav's turn is over. Ox, it is your turn.
All right. So, I am each one of these blocks is what, 5, 10 feet?
Each block is 5 feet.
Okay. So, one,
If
two.
you hold, I'll give you a little advice
Okay.
to work with Roll20. If you hold on your icon and then you're using your left clicker on your mouse,
Yep.
and if you click the right cursor, you can actually move around. It tells you how far you can actually go with it.
Okay.
Just so all basically do is pick it up and then you right click or right click, and you can like show you.
Okay. That is not doing what it's supposed to. Okay.
So you know how you normally pick up your little icon.
Yes.
So don't move it. Don't move it everywhere. So just sort of just pick it up in the same place where it is, and then right click, and then it should move it around, and you can see it in the distance. If not, you're gonna have to do the whole snap to center on the left side to whole like.
Okay.
Small.
Okay.
What the?
What is happening?
Sorry, I'm just.
Okay. Okay. I've got my movement, so I know
That's
that
fine.
they're within it. So I'm gonna go here,
Okay.
which puts me within 10 feet,
Mhm.
and
5 feet. Remember, we're always measuring between boxes, so you're technically 5 feet away from it.
okay, so that's okay. That's what I meant.
Yeah,
Because I have
you're
a
good.
10-foot reach with my glaive.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, you're definitely well within range.
Okay. So I am going to swing my glaive
Mhm.
at this guy.
Left. Okay, sounds good.
And while swinging in my rage, I just say, I've gotta know! Can you guys swim in the sand?
The comments just like, "What are you talking about?"
And rolling to hit. All right, so thankfully I'm raging.
No,
Um,
th-
that hang on, was that doesn't give me that doesn't give me advantage, does it? Or
no, you just roll twice and take the highest.
okay,
Unfortunately, the feature on Roll 20 or D&D Beyond doesn't roll twice for you.
okay. So I'm gonna roll again. All right, cool.
Oh,
24
shit.
hit.
That's pretty good.
Oh yeah, think of like think of like those old kung fu films when they're using like the bamboo sticks and they just whack, just like with great ferocity and speed. You bring the head of the helper down on that one goblin. Go and roll for probably be killing blow on this goblin.
All
I would hope
right.
so. It's a
So
D12,
3
D12.
plus 5.
6. Damn.
6, 8 damage to the guy on the left
Even
or the
though
right.
yeah, even though the goblin directly in front of you, technically the left goblin, you bring the halberd straight down with ferocity. It does manage to like at the last minute, the other goblin just sort of pushes him a little bit instinctively to protect his comrade, and you do only manage to just like cut off like its right arm, and it's still up. It drops its scimitar and it tries to pick it up with his left hand, but you effectively cut off its right arm, and it is still alive, unfortunately. Um,
Yoo-hoo!
but it is beaten, so I will say that it is below 1/4, or it's exactly 1/4, but I'll consider it beaten.
All right,
Uh,
perfect.
it is fucking scared though. Just like, holy, I caramba,
Should have let me talk to your leader.
Jim Jilliwamba. Like, holy crap. Okay, yeah, you showed me to talk to you later.
So that's my
So
action.
that's your action. Okay, still have a bonus action, but there's really nothing else to use it with because you're already raging.
Yep.
Okay, sounds good. With that, Sterling, it is your turn. You just see Ox just go into this area and just "Ah!" Okay.
Okay.
You can only see this goblin technically. These two are out of sight because they're below him. And you can technically see this goblin all the way on the other side as well, who's now looking your group's general direction. Like, what the heck's going on over there?
I can see this one all the way over here.
Yeah, you can see that one too. So you basically can see the two sentry goblins on those little raised areas. You're definitely with it.
I would like to shoot the one that's farther away from us.
Okay, yeah. Go ahead and make that shot. Make that roll. As you sit there, lay there, and take aim. Nice. Real quickly check if that hits. So as the goblin's sitting there, he pulls his sharp out. He's just like looking distance. Then like at the last minute, he sees sort of the light reflect off parts of the metal alloy. He's just like, "Oh shit!" A loud reverberating shot from your because it's relatively loud. Fires the musket ball point blank. Bing, hits him somewhere in the upper body. Go ahead and roll for damage. Heyo. And
Nice.
as he at the last minute, he's like, "Oh shit!" Keek! Right between the eye. You drop the goblin whose head sort of explodes from the impact of
Oh,
your bullets, and it drops dead. Just falls to his knee, jump, drops, it's dead. All
I was
good
thinking.
job, Sterling.
I was thinking I should kill that one before it tells other people that were here. But
right, pretty good.
on the other hand, I do think I just made a large explosion where it is, so I don't think it's any better.
Yeah, I think regardless, the musket is loud, so they're gonna hear a disturbance. You will have to spend your bonus action to reload unless you don't want to reload, which I don't see why you wouldn't.
No, I'm gonna reload.
Alright, so it's like the old good old Civil War days. You just pull out the little loader, you take some gunpowder, you put the ball in there, you stuff it, and you're just sort of just sitting there on the precipice of the sand dune, reloading your musket. All right.
That's
You don't want to move. You just want to stay there and reload.
yeah.
All right, sound good. The enemies, the goblins over here, and Tab, you can sort of hear goblins coming from this one. They're like, "Oh shit!" The body sort of like just the body over here starts to like fall and sort of slowly fall down the sand. And then, oh my, oh, oh god, Melbiot, help us! And they sort of like you see one finally appear, and then another one with a scimitar over here, and he sees it's like, oh, there's one over here. And then you see, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He moves a little bit closer. This one's gonna be like, uh, and he starts speaking. And I know it sounds like a little bit Korean Chinese, but whatever. Um, well, there's a lot of Asian cultures in this area, but anyways, and I'm Asian, I guess. But he sort of speaks in Goblin. This Goblin like nods his head, and he's like, and you see a goblin, another goblin, a third goblin have just sprints past these two, and he starts making his way over here. Like he has no weapon. He has a scimitar on his back, but he's just running past everybody. And you see that this goblin sort of just points in the general direction of the other path that would lead to probably a cave or some sort. All right, so that goblin now move. They have no ranged weapons on them. So this one here, who is still reeling from the fuckery that happened in his brain. He sees Sterling finally now. He knows where he's generally at. Just underneath the crest of that sand dune. He still can't. He can still barely see you. So you if he does attack you, you will gain um uh half cover to your AC. And then but he can see Tav, and he looks at you, Tav, because he did see you sort of just appear and just do something with your hand gestures. Because I believe the spell has a somatic components.
It's verbal.
Verbal, just verbal. So you were just saying something, but I'm not gonna go ahead and make a quick reaction, see if you can see if it was you. It tells you. It's hard to tell, but you are the most exposed one, because he knows that the orc, half orc behind him, is probably wrecking, so he's not gonna shoot down. So he's gonna step forward a little bit, and he sees Oxcord, and he sees the one of his comrades' arms just got chopped off. He's like, "Yeah, no, I'm not dealing with that." He's gonna shoot you, Tav.
Oh God.
Alright, so with the short bow, 15 hit.
Yes.
The as he lets loose, he's just like lets loose a just jagged arrow. It hits you for 5 points of piercing.
5 points of damage.
Sinks deep into your left thigh, and it's just so horribly made. There's coarse sand in it. Why is there sand on this arrowhead? Oh, it hurts even more.
Okay, sand everywhere.
So you're definitely below half. So bing bam boom. Okay. And then these two goblins. This goblin, he picks up his scimitar and he rushes forward. This goblin's actually gonna go with him as well. But he's gonna go attack you with disadvantage because he's using his left hand. He's right-handed. So at disadvantage,
Not anymore. He's not.
that was a natural 20, but with disadvantage is a fail. So he makes a large swooping swipe at you, but your halberd still like pointed at them. You sort of just raise it and just dink, raise it off. But the other one's going to take the advantage and attack you with a normal attack. And once again, you look back and you're raging. You just you bring your halberd or your glaive back towards yourself, sort of, and it just hits the goblin's sword away, and both of them fail to hit you. All right. With that, the goblins have all moved and done their actions. We're top the order. Tab is your turn. You are bleeding profusely.
Yeah.
Is Tab okay?
I'm never okay.
I'm never okay.
Can I use healing word on myself?
Sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna heal myself.
Heck yeah.
Huh.
You were 1d4 plus 3.
6.
There you go.
So I'm up to full
Max.
again.
Max. Perfect. As
Yeah.
you say you recite a hymn, a phrase, a magical a phrase with magical meaning. The one you take the jagged sand covered arrowhead. Why? And you throw it away and you recite these magical words and it just heals over the wound like nothing happened except that there's a hole in your trousers.
my pants.
Your pants.
Love this pants. Okay, I'm gonna move back here because they're probably gonna try to flank,
Sure.
and I'm in the middle of here, and I'm gonna ready an attack if someone comes within range.
Sure. Okay. So, well, you did use your action, so you can't hold an action, unfortunately.
It's a bonus action for healing word.
Oh, good, perfect, awesome. So
Yeah.
then, yes, you will hold your action with your rusty rapier out.
Yes.
All right, sounds good. Ox, it is your turn.
All right. So do I? Can I use a glaive within 10 feet, or does that give me disadvantage?
I never really thought about it. I'm gonna say it's gonna put you at disadvantage because it is meant to be a reach weapon.
Okay. Well then, I'm gonna go ahead and pull out my great axe and just throw the glaive down because they got too close. Guess what,
Sure,
guys?
sure, sounds good.
Oh, looks like you need to lose the other arm, but not first. I'm gonna hit your friend here. I'm gonna hit the other guy.
Sure.
Ooh, that is a natural 20. 25
All
to
right.
hit.
Heck yeah, you critically hit. So go ahead and roll your damage die twice. Well, actually, it's gonna automatically do that for you.
Okay, here we go.
If you just click the there you go. 2D. Jesus.
15.
Oh
Okay.
god.
This goblin stood no chance as time slows. What do you do to this poor goblin?
I just, as I swing, I look at the one that's missing an arm and I go, should have let me talk to your leader. And then I just bring the great axe down straight through the other goblin, like from head to feet.
Yeah. You dissect this goblin like in a second, and he just falls two halves. And the goblin next to him is just like, oh. You can see little trickles of liquid trailing down underneath his little sash for pants. Okay.
And that is my action.
Everything's falling. Okay. Action. You can. Yep. You're in engagement mode. All right. Awesome. Cool. Cool. Sterling, it's your turn.
I can see this one right between these two rocks here, right?
Yes, you can see that one and that one as well. This one you can barely see, but I'm gonna make it so you just can't see. The AC would be too hard for you to hit, unless you critically hit. But it's up to you.
I think I'll try to shoot this one. That's more than 5 feet, isn't it? So how close are these two goblins? Is it would that be 10 feet or 5 feet?
Which goblins?
Those two right there.
How close are they together?
Yeah.
They're within 5 feet because one square is 5 feet.
Right. Then I want to shoot this one in the front and hope the explosion hits the other.
You can actually hit all three of them, honestly, with that explosion.
I guess so. All right.
Yeah.
Uh,
So go
let's
ahead
try to.
and make a hit on that one.
Yeah. Uh, that's an 8.
Good thing name is fire, but as you finish reloading, you take aim at this goblin right here, who seems to be rushing forward through this little crevice. You take aim, and the bullet just a little bit off, maybe the sand dune as you're resting your rifle or your musket on it, so it just lowers slightly from the weight of your gun, and it bink ricochets off this rock, missing its target. Okay.
I like to take my bonus action to reload.
Awesome, awesome.
And
Okay.
then, is there a way I can move to like this sand dune?
Yeah,
Or
you can. You definitely for sure. Let's see. I'm gonna also just do it for you as well. So 5. So getting to here would be 30. Or getting to here would be 30. Anything farther than that, you would have had to use your action to dash. So you can only get to the edge or like the bottom or the summit of the sand dune over there.
alright, I like to go get to the bottom of the sand dune to
Sure. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. As you're reloading your musket, you hop over the sand dune. You sort of slide down and sort of just precariously make your way down the sand dune. Sure. Go ahead. Go ahead with your token. Boom. Okay. Movement to da. So it's gonna be the enemy's turn. This goblin is going to go ahead. He's going to dash way past. He's giving you space, Tav. So as you have your rapier out, you're just like yeah. He just he has no intentions of attacking you, but these other
Oh.
goblins.
that's probably a scout.
Yeah.
This one's gonna also move that way, and then you know what? He'll use his action to dash, just to get to your face. Boom.
Yeah.
With this like jagged scimitar out, sand flying everywhere. This one's gonna go ahead. He's gonna go to here. He's going to see the fuckery that's happening over here. I'm sorry, this goblin's dead. My bad. And he's just be like, nope. He's going to charge the other goblin here or ox over there. And then for you ox, you do see another goblin appear over here. This one has a short bow out. He's gonna go ahead and hide over here. He's gonna go ahead and hold his action for any other enemy coming like out of this whole fuckery. This one's gonna go ahead and move, and he can see you, Sterling, over the crest of the hill, or just at the summit. So he's gonna go ahead and take a shot at you with his short bow. Still bleeding profusely from the nose. He's got a really bad, nasty nosebleed. And as you get to the summit, and you're still wildly exposed, but you just finished reloading your musket. And as you look up at the hill, the goblin's right there. Lets loose his arrow, and it think, goes right into your right shoulder for a hit. And it will do 6 points of piercing damage.
Jeez.
Level 1, man. Level 1. All right. So, by the way, this goblin that ran past you, Tav, is gone. It just booked it past you off the map.
Oh, fuck.
This goblin over here is going to attack you, even though he actually. I'm going to go ahead and quickly make a wisdom. See if he can hold himself in there because he's bleeding and saw his comrade. Yeah, after seeing his friendly goblin behind him with the scimitar wailing like a mad goblin. Oh, it's raining. That's not good. That's gonna be really humid later. Uh, he is reinvigorated with confidence, and he presses on the attack. I wasted a good die roll on that, so it's probably gonna be bad for the hit on. Yeah, it's expected. It's a disadvantage too, so it doesn't matter. Oh, and I rolled a 1, so he roll he he
Oh,
he
jeez.
thrusts his scimitar at you, Ox, and you're just raging. You're the butt of your great axe just kink tosses his scimitar, and it goes flying. He is unarmed. He's just like. I, oh, and then the other one behind him, I forgot because it would have been no because you're being flanked, but that's okay. Regardless, it's funny that way. This goblin does have advantage because he's flanking you, so it will have advantage on his attack. Um, and with that, because you're raging and you see the goblin, you just smile because you know that this one's next. This one is gonna die. You feel a sharp pain in the back and the goblin does hit you for 4 points of slashing. Slashing. No, yeah, slashing. to scimitar.
And I am raging, so is that half or is that the full damage?
That is full damage, so divide that by 2, so it's 2.
All right. 2
Okay.
damage.
Awesome. So with that, that is the end of the goblin's turn. We're top of the order. Tav, you are in combat with this wailing, very tenacious desert goblin with a scimitar.
Yeah, I forgot my held action. Could I do that on when
Yes,
he
I've,
went up to my
I've,
side?
yep. So before we actually start your turn, so go ahead and make your held action. I totally forgot. Sorry.
Natural 20.
Ooh, baby. Go ahead and roll that
Congratulations.
damage.
Oh god.
Oh god.
18.
Oh my
Oh my
god!
god.
Obliterated.
As this goblin rushes towards you like a mad lad, this goblin is at your well, describe to me, Tav, how you obliterate this goblin with your rusty rapier.
As he runs towards me, I just stab forward right through his skull
Yeah.
and then pull out.
As he runs, he sort of like gets tripped up on the sand, and you just sort of set your feet in like that fencer's position. Just with one thrust, the blade just goes right through the cranium, and you pull it out almost exactly the same time, and the goblin just stops in his tracks and falls dead. The last thoughts of this goblin was like, "How did I die from rusty rapier? It's not rusty at all." So with that, Tav, it is now your turn.
Yeah. The one ran away, so I will go. Let's see here. How far I can go.
I can give
Oh,
you the option if you want to leave the battle and pursue that goblin, but it's up to you.
I'm gonna help my friends instead.
Okay, sounds good.
I'm gonna go here
Oh yeah,
and flank that one.
yeah, yep.
And
The
stab.
flanking maneuver now just turned on him, and now he is double flanked. Okay,
Yeah, I'm gonna fucking stab him.
yep, go.
And let's see. First is a 19
Oh god.
and adventure. Okay, that's so 19.
Okay, you definitely hit. Go and roll for damage. This goblin was
Yeah.
just like, oh, he too
Oh,
feels a sharp pain in his back.
it's only a 4.
Oh, but he turns around as you pull the rapier out. Unfortunately, you do not have you probably just slightly missed its spine. You could have ended it all there, but maybe the unevenness of the sand sort of affected your thrust. And yeah, regardless, it is close to being bloody.
I'm just gonna wave. Hello.
Ah,
Uh,
nah, Chumchawamba.
and I'm gonna give inspiration to Sterling.
So you cannot see Sterling from where you're at
Oh,
currently.
he's behind us.
And yeah, and Ox is already still has his
Mhm.
parting spell.
Yeah, and I can't do anything else then.
Okay,
Nope, that's all.
sounds good. All right, go ahead, Ox.
I look at the one who was just disarmed and I just go, I'm saving you for last. And I turn around and smash the guy that stabbed me in the
Oh
back.
shit! All right, go ahead. Hell yeah!
And
Hey,
all right, so I'm going to
no.
roll with my advantage.
Yep,
Yep,
there you go.
there we go.
Yep. As you say that, you with the utmost speed, you just turn with your axe already in full flight, and you just cleave into this goblin. Go ahead and roll for damage. This should do it.
Ah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I will go ahead and say that it just because of just the way it is all happening, you just cleave through that goblin and you
Yeah.
decapitate him, and he is dead. All right.
God, you sprayed me with blood.
Yeah.
You.
All right. Anything else, Ox?
um, no, I'm good.
Okay. Sterling, it is your turn.
Okay. I would like to move to like the top of this dune.
Sure. Go ahead and make a dexterity check. 15. All right. So the dexterity check was to see if you failed, then it would have counted difficult terrain. So every foot would have counted as 2. But you can move up to as your full movement as per normal. So go ahead and move your um avatar icon. Awesome. Yeah, you were at the top. You can see everything. Oh. You hide behind the crevice still? That's fine.
No, I want to sit on top of it to
Okay,
kind of
sure.
see everything.
Yeah, you can see the entire camp. Go ahead. I'm assuming you wanted to attack next.
Yeah. Can I see? Can I? Is this kind of cover from this spike?
You can see him, but he will get covered because he is like not fully in view of you. So like you can see parts of him through the barricade. But you can still see him. He's just gonna get a boost to his AC. As you're aiming at him, you can see the full entirety of the camp now. You can see that there is actually a little wooden pen, and there are two individuals, looks like prisoners, over there.
Okay.
Anyways,
I think I'm gonna go for it, and that's gonna be higher AC. I want to try to shoot this guy.
okay, go ahead, sure. As you take aim, like I said, maybe just it's just sand. The unevenness, putting too much weight on sand, sort of just lowers your aim down just slightly. And you didn't take that in consideration to correct it. As you fire, the bullet just chips into the wooden barricade. The goblin's just like doesn't know you're there. Oh, looks and sees you, but yes, that is a miss.
Okay.
Jesus.
How much movement do I have left?
Well, you didn't move that much because you successfully made that dex check. So let's see. I'm gonna do it like this. So you're at 15. You have 15 feet left. Yeah, 15 feet left. So 3 squares. Yeah, yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I like to move there.
All
Try to
right, sounds
close
good.
in.
Sure. And I'm assuming you use your bonus action to reload.
Yeah.
All right, as you're doing once again, reloading on the go. Cool, cool. Fucking Percival. All he did back in Critical Role Season 1 with Vox Machina. Ugh. But then again, he eventually got Pepper Box and it just was just game. All right, Sterling, you move closer. Like I said, you did see that there are some prisoners over here. One was a half elf and one was a human. Right, it's enemy's turn. This goblin's gonna go ahead and he's going to move around and pop an arrow at you, Sterling. He's like, "Darn, you tried to shoot at me." And as you let loose, you're stumbling through the sand a little bit. You're reloading, so you're not going your full speed. You're not trying to evade anything. You're a really large moving target, and it hits you in the side of the leg. Oh god, 5 points of piercing damage.
Jeez. I'm I'm at 1 HP. Wait, no, that's 5. That completely downs me.
Ooh. So as you're reloading, you finally finish reloading. The arrow clink hits the side. You fall down, and you start feeling the magical energy that makes you sentient, makes you whole, makes you a living creature is beginning to slowly fade in and out. And you are down with 0 HP, and you will next turn start rolling for death saves unless someone comes there to heal you.
Okay.
All right, so you are down.
Did I see
Yikes.
that?
You are raging, so I'm going to say no.
Okay, fair.
You're too busy trying to kill things in front of you.
Okay. I was just seeing if that would determine my next target.
Right, exactly. I get that. I get that. So that one's fired. It's gonna go ahead and move back into cover. This one's gonna go ahead and he's going to go down this way. He's gonna pull out his scimitar. He's gonna go ahead and attack Tav from behind. He's like, ah, and the backstabbing continues. But this time, Tav, you actually step backwards. You feel the goblin's presence, and probably him heavily breathing. And you take a step back, and he misses. And then this goblin's running. This goblin's gonna go ahead and full do his action to disengage and run away. To see how far. He's gonna go here first, go around. Actually, no, that made no sense. He could have. No, he has to run away from you. So he's gonna go ahead and run to the camp. He's gonna go over here and hide. All right, and then that is it. So Tav, it is your turn.
Yeah, I'm gonna begin with stabbing
Yeah,
him that's right behind me
sounds good.
with my rapier. Oh god. Okay, it was a 7. I thought it was 1. 11.
Not bad. Unfortunately, the goblin does manage to parry your attack. Even though he doesn't have the parry feature, you just don't hit.
Yeah. And I can't do anything else with him without him getting an opportunity attack.
Correct. Since you
So
use your action to attack, yeah.
I'm just gonna stand there.
Okay. Pox, go ahead, your turn.
All right. Do I see the guy hiding behind the barriers like a chicken?
You do see the guy kind of out here, but you also see a laying down Sterling.
I am raging.
Yep. So that's not a your concern. So
Nope.
this one is though.
Yep.
Okay. The goblin's like loading another arrow, and you're ready right on top of him with a big, dirty grin on your face. You're just like,
Hello.
okay, go ahead.
And all right, so that's 14. I have advantage, so
Mhm.
yep. There we go. And
Oh god.
17 damage.
How would you like to finish off this goblin,
I,
Ox?
are you the leader? I guess not anymore. And
I'm
I just cleave right through him, like right in the middle, like cutting his bow in half,
yeah.
everything.
As he raises up his bow to whatever he would think to try and stop it, you're cutting right through his skull. He's like, "I'm not the leader," and he also gets cleaved in half. All right,
So,
that is it for you, or Ox, I guess.
yep.
Okay, you do see the other one here, cowering in fear. So you already see your next target in plain sight.
Hello.
Right, and then Sterling, go ahead and roll me a death save.
Death saves are just straight d20s, right?
Correct. If you roll a 10 or less, you take a death save. If you roll 11 or higher, you're good to go. You take 1 success. 3 failures mean death. 3 successes means you're stabilized. There you go. If
Yeah.
if you roll a 1, you that's 2 failures. If you roll a 20, a natural 20, that's 2 successes. But that is 1, so you're good to go. You're still clinging on to this material plane, your life force still not wanting to leave its construct. All right, that is your turn. Enemies, this one is going to go ahead and give up. He's going to surrender. He's not moving. He is incapacitated, basically. He is so scared. He hopes that his death is clean and fast, and he doesn't suffer. But this one is going to go ahead and continue the onslaught on Taff. He's going to take a scimitar. It was a 14 hit.
Yes.
Oof. And he's going to slice again the same spot where you got hit by the arrow.
Please don't.
For 4 points of slashing
4
damage.
points. Yeah, that's half.
All right, so you are
Uh,
bloodied. Okay, and that's it for his turn. We're at top of the order. Tab, it's your turn.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to stab him
Heck yeah,
with
heck yeah.
my rapier.
hmm
That's 19 should hit.
Oh yeah, definitely hits.
And
This
it's
should do
7
it.
damage.
How do you want to finish this goblin?
I'm gonna like 10 stabs rapidly all over him.
Like anime style, just like
Yeah, but
like machine gun. Hell yeah, yeah. This goblin is full of holes.
Swiss
He's
cheese.
basically Swiss cheese. Yup. All right. With that, Ox, would you like to go and finish out the goblin?
I go over and instead of killing him, I punch him in the face to knock him out.
I will say the rage will drop at that point since you're not trying to kill him. So actually, yeah, that's fine. Go ahead and roll. Make a strength check for me real quick. So you might punch him to death because you are a half.
It is true. My damage for unarmed strike is 4.
Yeah, just make a strength check. See if you can hold back some of that strength.
Okay. 17.
Oh, unfortunately, in your mind, you're like, this should knock him out. And as you barrel your fist deep into like the exterior of his cranium, you realize, oh yeah, this wasn't gonna work. And you take your fist out of this hole in his cranium, and he slumps over dead. So unfortunately, you you just caved his head in. I will say that Tad, you would have moved probably
Yeah,
And you
move
would have
to.
seen Sterling. So you now that we're out of combat, you can go to Sterling's aid, and we now are
Yeah,
officially out of
I'm
combat.
gonna
Sure.
use what is it? A healing balm. If it
Awesome.
works on him, I don't.
It does.
I don't.
It
It does.
does.
Okay.
It will. It will. As you apply the healing bomb, go ahead and roll a d4 divided by 2. You can see that the damaged wood and metal, a thin sort of translucent filament fills up that area. So 1. You get 1 HP. You're back to 1 HP,
Yay!
Sterling. But it does stabilize you and your heals, so you can actually move around now. All right, so we are out of combat. You guys are all in the camp. You see Ox just sort of taking deep breaths now to calm himself down.
Yep. Uh, So, what
Uh,
lesson did we learn today, everybody?
uh, I don't know.
Goblins suck.
No, the lesson you should learn is when someone asks nicely to speak to the leader, your response should not be to threaten them.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. I thought it was stab the goblins.
Yeah, well, we tried. We tried. I
And
give
we
it a good
did.
faith effort. I'm gonna
It all turned out in the end.
I'm gonna go see if I can't check on these hostages.
And then for this is basically whatever you ask. So if you guys want to use a couple of your healing bombs, feel free to. Just obviously decrease them on your inventory.
Yep.
Um, and then so you approach the pen. It's just really shabby looking pen. Like you could have broken through. If you were President Ox, you could have easily just like pushed the whole thing away. But you can see that the two individuals are very malnourished, probably very dehydrated. You see a half-elf man with dark ebony skin, curly coal colored hair, and little slight smaller than usual elf ears. So he's a half elf. Um, you do actually see that he's wearing like normal like he's actually wearing like somewhat like farmer's garb, but you do see that he has a symbol, a very familiar symbol that you would have known from your tribe. It is the symbol of Abella, and specifically there's like another little like a little symbol underneath it that would point to him being from the temple of Abella at Tayadada, that big temple for Abella, the goddess of um, against and protection against ill fortune, which is like the Alma Valley is not too far away,
Okay.
probably like a day and a half away, but he's from there. And then the human man, I'll go ahead and post quick pictures of what they look like, is this sort of rotund, bald, creepy looking merchant person. Um, Also with like this dark but lighter dark ebony skin. He's mostly bald. He's got warts all over his head. He's got glasses, but he's definitely wearing very dirty, dusty um, merchant's garb that you all would have seen back in Lucerne. So I'll go and post pictures of the half elf first, and an NPC appears. And yeah, like I said, you don't even have to make a check. The gates just like you just rip the pen door open and it
Just,
just breaks.
hello, everybody.
And then the other person, the half elf, looks at you and says, "Oh, Abella be praised. Thank you so much. Ah." He points to his captured comrade. This is I'm Van Leith. This is Alwawi. He's very dehydrated. If you have any water, please, if you could give him some. The goblins have been keeping us here without any food or water for quite some time now.
Yeah, sure. I pull out my my container, whatever the
Yeah, yeah, I
my
got you.
water bucket.
Sure, sounds good. The rotund man who's just like breathing very slightly. He takes some sip. He's just like his eyes wide and he starts drinking more. And Van's like, "Oh wow, if you drink too much, you're gonna die." He's like, "Oh, "I don't care, I need it." But he eventually, gets into a rhythm. He doesn't drink all your water. He just, he drinks a good amount, but it's not gonna hopefully ruin you in the long run. Then again, the Oasis isn't that far away either. So
Yep.
okay. Alawi. Alawi.
No.
Alawi. Alright, I posted their names. Alright, they both look like Vanlius is the one who's pretty much more accustomed to the harsh environments. And he looks at you, he looks at all three, he's like, "Thank you. May Abella continue to protect you on your travels and on your adventures. You must be freelancers, I assume, or adventurers, to be traveling into such dangerous territories.
Yep, we were sent here to, well, deal with the goblins. They picked war. We tried to pick diplomacy.
It's
Speaking of
very
which,
good.
did we get them all?
Um,
No, one
Mm,
escaped.
Yeah, one
yes,
escaped,
I did.
and
Yeah,
they
I
had a
did.
camp a little bit further where we went.
How about you guys keep an eye on these guys and I'll go take care of those guys?
Vanelith immediately grabs your form. Is like, wait, big adventure. I must warn you. Um, since we've been imprisoned here for the past at least a few days now, there are more of us, and I speak a little bit of their dialect, and I remember them talking about something about offerings and securing safe passage. I know that they have a hideout nearby at this place. I believe it's called Mortal Cave. And as soon as he says Mortal Cave, Ox, you remember Dogny saying there's a place in the southern dunes called Mortal Cave that houses, and it's probably where the resting area of evil spirits lie. And as soon as he says that, you're like, oh, shit. But he's like, there are more there. There's at least a couple dozens of them. There's I don't think you alone, fair adventurer, could take them on by yourself. You're going to need all of you, but at the same time, if you could, I know that you're probably here to deal with the goblins, but can you really take on that many in their hideouts? Mortal Cave is also rumored to be a very cursed place. I don't
Yeah.
want to force you to jeopardize your lives so needlessly.
So we're supposed to deal with them. So that's some very good advice. I appreciate it. Thank you. I guess all three of us will go this time. And we're going to find out A, if there's actually a real curse, and B, how many I can squish more than everybody else. But we can definitely take the same approach we took this time because that worked really well. I'm going to try to
Kinda,
be
yeah.
nice, and they're probably going to do something stupid.
Um, I know that we just met and you just rescued us, and I hope that Abella guides and protects all of you on what comes next. But if you do survive Mortal Cave and we all return back, we'll wait for you here. But if you do not come back, well, we might just. He looks at Alawi. Alawi's just like nods his head. He's like, we'll try to make our way back to Macerna if we can. If not, we'll probably stop at the nearby oasis on the way there. But we'll wait for you. But regardless, we owe you our lives and we owe you our gratitude. Um, I am from Tayadada, the Temple of Abella, further south from here. Um, if you ever come to visit Temple Diadada, um, I will come find me, and I will personally give you a reward that will justify saving my life. And I'll always sort of just like quiz the. I'm a stall vendor in Macerna. Um, I typically sell healing balms, and I can because you've saved my life, and hopefully you will survive what comes next. If you do, come find me in Macerna, and I can give you discounted healing potions as well as a personal reward of mine.
Sounds good. Man, this freelancer gig pays off in dividends.
Yeah, sometimes it does.
So,
Um,
The
yeah.
Hmm?
So I just look at like, so you're gonna want to follow the cave path, and then if you go, and I'm just gonna give them directions on how to get back to the oasis in order to keep them safe, so they
okay.
don't get lost out in the sands.
Yeah, of course, and obviously Vanlith is the more stable of, more fit of the two, so he's going to help Alawi get to there. Um, you see that he goes and picks up a scimitar and he picks up some of the short bows from the goblins and he arms himself. He says, "Okay, very well. Thank you. What are your names again?"
So this is Tav. Uh,
hello.
she is
Nice to meet you.
wonderful. This is
I
Sterling.
am.
He is
Howdy.
mysterious, and I am Ox. I'm friendly.
Tav, you sort of notice that he blushes when he sees you. He's like, "Oh, nice to meet you, Lady Tav."
Eh, It's nice to meet you too.
He sort of just like keeps doing like rubbing his nose like this. Okay, yeah, we'll allow it. Let's go and let the freelancers do what they're here to do. And Lowie's just like, "Oh, I'm so hungry." He's like, "We have scraps. It's okay."
I'm gonna give them a day's ration at least of mine.
Oh, oh, thank you, Lady Tab. And he's once again like sort of rubs his nose. You are most gracious. I hope Abella watches over you specifically.
You guys are gonna need a temple room. Keep this up.
He turns red and he's just like, "Oh, I don't know about that. I have no idea what you're talking about." Um, they slowly make their way towards the general area where you located. Um, I'm assuming you're going to head in the now opposite direction towards that probably now known as Mortal Cave.
We are going to certain destruction. Not ours, but
Yeah.
somebody's.
So I'll go ahead and back on World 20, I'll show the map. It's not a battle map. I'm just showing you the layout of the area. So as you make your way across the open desert and you reach the sort of now sort of descending or descent, you can all see now that it leads into what looks like to be a small oasis as well. But you can see at the bottom that there's a cave entrance. There is the typical sign or an effigy indicating that this is a safe spot of a goblin for you Ox. But at the same time, it's weird because they have hanging skulls, which for you would also mean dangerous, cursed. So it's sort of like an oxymoron why they did this.
It seems like somebody's trying to play on things I don't believe in.
You can clearly all see that there are many trails of people being dragged and stuff like that all the way down the slope into this rock this cave entrance. And eventually, if you all make your way, once you all make your way down, you'll notice that there's this not only an effigy, but there's this large, smooth boulder with runic etchings carved into it.
Before we head in, can I use some of the healing balm so I'm
Yeah,
not
go.
heading with 1 HP?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, you guys. This is. Yeah, I'm not rushing you. You guys are just outside right now, so you guys can use as much healing balls as you want to heal as much HP
Fun.
as you want or whatever.
I'm gonna go ahead and roll my die 4 just to see if I need to use one or two of these things.
Sure.
All right, I'm gonna use 2 of them, so I'm fully healed.
Sure.
One. And one last. I have to use a lot. One again. So that's. I have 2 left.
Um,
Make a note
Also,
to use 2 bombs.
I'm reading the contract here. Do we get paid 5 silver per goblin nose too?
Mhm.
Then I would have cut off the
Sure.
noses of all that we killed.
So,
Just
sounds good. Yeah, I'll keep track of it for you guys. Don't worry.
yeah, just so we have them if we don't go back to that place, so we get paid.
Sweet.
I'm gonna quickly count the ones you get. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So eight goblin noses.
Nice. Ah, ah, ah.
All right, so
Bag full of bloody noses. That's not weird. Just dripping blood.
Probably not need
Just
all of them.
Tab's just like wiping her drool. We're gonna get so much money for this. Okay. So outside the cave entrance, you guys are all sort of like down there. I'll move your
yeah,
horse for you. It's cool. Just all in there to say there is some water there, so you guys can take some sips of water and stuff like that. Clean some of the coarse sand in your boots and stuff.
I'm gonna refill
Um,
my cask or whatever,
sure.
my keg thing.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, I'm gonna refill mine too.
Okay, sounds good. It is getting late. It's around like now 6 in the afternoon. Sun's starting to come down. Like I said, outside is this smooth stone boulder with these interesting runic carvings on it. But then next to it is that effigy. Obviously, for you, Ox, you can read that it is a safe haven, but the skulls above it mean that it's cursed. Warning is a dangerous place.
uh, so I get that. So I'm gonna look at the rock, knowing absolutely nothing about anything on that rock, and just try to figure it out because I don't know what I'm doing.
Um, You're gonna go ahead and make an Arcana check, but at disadvantage.
Okie dokie. Skills. Arcana.
Skills.
Just 0. Perfect.
Mhm.
Disadvantage. My first one's 12.
Oh God.
My second one is 13. And you know what? I'm going to go ahead and use my Bardic Inspiration. Yeah! 19 total for my
19
Arcana check. Or no,
or
18
18.
with disadvantage.
Nice.
So, unfortunately, you don't have proficiency in Arcana, so you really have no idea the magical, for the most part, the magical means of it. However, you retrace back into your memories of another life, the life before coming here, and you remember the splendorous magical world that was. So you do remember some magical elements, but this seems archaic to you. This is whatever this magical writing is, you have no idea what it could mean besides conjecture and philosophical means. Definitely magical, definitely some sort of maybe indicator or marking. It's an out of place object, but you have no real way to indicate or pinpoint what it is or why it's here. Okay.
Can either of you read this?
Nah.
Nah, bro.
I'm
I don't read rocks, man.
I'm
Thick
not
tiger
really
rock English on it.
I'm not proficient in magic stuff. I know how to do it. I don't understand.
I will say though, for you, Tav, there is something that does stick out to you in this rock. You aren't proficient in magic. You know how to use magic more so than the rest of the group. And you
Yeah,
look at the etchings; they don't seem familiar to you. But go ahead and make an Arcana check.
this is gonna go well. Oh, 15.
Not bad. As you sort of peer over and around this boulder, you do catch glimpses of familiar writing. Now, you are a tiefling, and your race has mostly dealt with devils, which is one of two types of fiends in this universe. The other etchings you don't understand, but the one etchings that you can see, but you don't aren't truly familiar with, is demonic. And that's where that sort of feeling comes from. You don't have true connections to the demons of the abyss, but you do have that ancestry because you did once in my world, you did once your people did once serve as subjects,
Mm.
sort of slaves, but mostly subjects that were forced to do things, serve them. But obviously, there's a schism during the Blood Wars in my world, and then you sort of branch with the devils, who were more sophisticated, more understanding, who wanted compliance rather than just complete subjugation. They're going to ask for it, and they'll offer you something in return for your compliance, and so that's why most of you tieflings joined up initially. Eventually, you guys also did part ways, and now back in Satia, you have this very intricate system of bureaucracy and exchange. But like I said, the one thing that does stick out that there's some demonic etchings on here, and that is most foul.
So I probably shouldn't touch the demon rock.
Probably not a good idea to touch the demon rock, but we can try. But I'm not gonna do it.
I just look at both of them and I'm like, what, this one? And I put my hand on it.
Nothing happens.
See,
Uh,
nothing's going to happen. Nobody cares.
I need you to make it. No, I was kidding.
Oh God.
It's probably just some sort of warning.
Yeah, it could be a
Warning and
warning.
but why would they write a warning in magic runes?
What do you
I
write a
think
warning in?
it might be really old and have other languages that none of us understand really. But yeah, I think we should go in and see if it really is bad.
There's like all these warning signs, and everyone's just like, "Let's just go in. We got
See what happens.
Okay,
see what happens.
so from my
Roll the dice."
understanding, this is a warning.
yeah,
The skulls are a warning saying cursed. That's what I was
yeah.
taught, but I mean, whatever. We're gonna have to do it anyway. So, why worry about sliced bread? And then this right here says it's safe. So this is all a smoke screen to scare people away from the goblins' hideout. That's what I'm thinking.
And in the back of your mind, you keep hearing the yelling and sort of frustration of Dog saying, Oz, get it through your fucking skull. There are evil out there. You cannot just willy nilly walk, and you're just like,
I literally out loud go, "You shut up! You're not my mom."
Well, no, I'm not.
No, not you. Sorry, I was having a flashback. Oh my god, she's gonna be so pissed.
Sounds great.
So we're
Should
gonna
we
do
go
the
in
same
on
thing as last time. I'm gonna wander in and try to talk to these guys.
Yeah, we'll be a little bit behind and see what
Maybe
happens.
I do think maybe we should take this with a little more caution, considering the 3 different warnings on the outside of this cave.
Hey,
Just maybe.
to be fair, there's only 2 warnings. One of them says safe. Okay, so we should survey before we make a plan. How's that sound?
Yeah, we can probably sneak in a little and see what happens.
All
Yeah,
right,
let's
I'm
try
down
that.
for that.
Well, yeah, who should go first?
I'll go first. I
Of
walk in the
course.
cave.
Sneaking.
Oh yeah,
No.
I try to I tread lightly. I'm not just walking in like a doofus.
so, Aksh, you go in first, and eventually, I would assume the other you others will follow suit as
Yeah,
well.
can I sneak behind him, like walk in, but more stealthily than him?
Sure, yeah, you guys are all sneaking. There's no need for a roll right now, but you're all doing your best to sneak in. Ox, do you have your halberd out or your glaive out,
Um,
or are you carrying your glaive in with you?
I'm carrying my glaive. I'm just,
Okay.
it's not like it's in my hand ready to attack somebody, but I do have it.
I will let you know as you go deeper into this cave, it's just darkness for right now. You do realize, and all of you do realize, I believe everyone here has dark vision besides Sterling.
Bummer.
That's a shame.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think so. Okay. So regardless though, Sterling, you can feel the walls around you. It is a relatively confined space, this tunnel that leads further and further into this cave. And it is quiet. It is ominously quiet in this cave. For you, Ox, as you're maneuvering forwards, trying to sneak and stuff like that. Normally there would be like torches, some light for the goblins. Goblins can see in the dark too, but like for the same at the same time, like why not put torches? Like this is your hideout. You would still put light up or something like that. But it
I
is
as we get
dark.
there, I'm like, I think they know we're coming.
So we'll go ahead and bring up the next map. And you're all at the top right corner of this massive map.
Should I light a torch?
This is the person that can't see in the dark.
I'm gonna use dancing light as
Okay.
a cantrip.
Okay. You
So
cast. Yep. What
4
is your
balls of light.
4 balls of
Huh?
light? What do these balls look any different? Or are they just literally spheres of light?
Yeah, they're gonna be a little pink in the hue.
Okay, sounds good. They illuminate the area. What's the? I'll read the spell too.
Uh, You can also each light shed dim light in a 10-foot radius,
Perfect. Awesome.
and you're just gonna circle around Sterling a little, like 10 feet around him in a circle.
Okay. You do have 4 of them. You create torches. Blah blah. You can move them 60 feet as a bonus action? Yeah. Okay. So you put all 4 of them around Sterling or near, like you all sort of clump together anyway. So you all are basically illuminated.
Yeah,
Um.
so
Okay. So
around
the
us,
okay
like
cool.
so.
So there's
So we can.
4 pink hue spheres of lights sort of revolving around all 3 of you. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, what do you guys want to do? You do see up ahead, Ox and everyone else, that there looks like the cave now turns into like a tunnel of some sort. Actual carved stone.
Oh man, they might be right. This place looks like a temple to the devil.
Nice.
Oh wait, I forgot. Sorry if that was offensive.
Not really.
Okay, I'm gonna
I
move.
don't know any
I'm gonna
devils.
move. I realize that this place is probably gonna be confined, so my glaive is not gonna be much use. So I am going to not make it my readied weapon. I'm going to carry my great axe.
Yeah, probably same here. I'm gonna pull out my dagger instead of my gun.
And I guess I'm gonna move uh here. Um since we can see that far, there's nothing in there. To see if that gives me a better vantage point of what is up ahead.
Before you get to that point, as you cross this area right here,
Perfect.
I need you to make. I need to pull out my thingy. You step forward and you notice that the ground beneath you is fake, and you begin to fall. So I need you to make a test real quick.
God.
The one thing about these, you have to actively be looking for traps and such.
Perfect. So I make a dex save.
Yeah, I need to look what the trap actually is. You'll
Okay.
You're gonna need to make a dexterity check. Oh, sorry. No, hold on. Here we go. You need to make a. Why isn't that telling me? No, because you didn't spot it at all. You just simply drop down into.
Floor's not real.
Yeah, yeah, because you weren't actively looking for it. You just and you both see him step on what looked like a pile of like shrubs and stuff like that, and he just falls. You fall 10 feet down to this pitfall, Ox, and you take 4 points of bludgeoning damage.
Ow.
I guess this should have been expected when they knew we were coming.
Yeah, it was expected. I'm gonna walk forward to the pit and Ox,
Yeah, I'm
are you
fine.
okay down there?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah, so
good. I need to get up. I'm gonna
you
look.
see you. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm gonna look around. Is there like a way out of here, or is it just up?
Just
Okay. So catch my rope. I just.
Why don't I just lower the rope
Oh,
down
okay.
to you?
That's fair. That'd probably work better.
okay. So go ahead. Whoever's going to pull, make
Not me.
strength
I'll
checks.
pull it.
Strength checks at advantage because you have obviously Tab would probably help out too.
Yeah.
Okay, so go ahead. How much do you weigh, Ox?
Shoot.
Oh
Yeesh.
God.
He's a
I
big boy.
weigh 235 pounds.
All
Oh
right,
shit.
I know the DC. Go ahead and roll with advantage.
That went well.
Oh gosh.
How about you guys just hold it and I'll climb?
Okay.
Okay.
I think at this point we're all gonna fall if we keep doing this.
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah.
say that they still need to make a strength check to hold themselves because you do weigh quite a bit. Even though your check would have been at advantage, their strength check would have been at a higher difficulty. Um, I will say that if you guys want to take the time to find like a nearby rock to tie a rope on to just let Ox climb out himself, you can, but you will spend about 30 minutes or like 10 minutes to do all that and stuff like that.
That sounds like a better idea.
Okay.
ID.
ID.
Because I'm not that strong.
I don't think anyone else is.
So, out of all the people that should have fallen down this hole, I'm the most inconvenient. I understand.
Well,
Yes.
just stay in there for a bit. We'll find a rock to tie a rope to.
Okay,
We
I'll
throw a
wait
rock down
here.
to you.
You find a protruding rock after 10 minutes. You tie it around, and Ox, you want to make a check. It's relatively easy. It's just like there's nothing to you as you climb up, but you're back on this side because that's where you're at. But there is this gaping, almost 5-foot hole in front of all of you. So you're gonna have to just jump. It's not bad. but I will still have you make a dex check
Okay.
to hop over. Just a check. You can use acrobatics if you want as well, if you have that skill. But go ahead and roll a dex check to hop over.
All right. Let me see my skills. No, I do not have that as a skill.
There you go.
I am not rolling great.
It's okay. You pass. You're fine. Yep, you pass as well, Ox.
15.
Here you go, Tav. There you go.
Well,
You're all good. It's just a DC 10, so you all managed to make your way across.
yay.
All right. Dancing lights still around you, so the light still illuminates in a 10-foot dim light. But obviously, Ox, you can see with dark vision, so you can see the next little bit area up ahead.
Okay, I'm gonna look around for like some like not small pebbles, but like a few rocks because I'm super paranoid now that there's gonna
Okay.
be holes everywhere.
Yeah, you find probably like. Go ahead and make a perception check real quick.
All right.
You want to look for something decent size, not just like small pebbles.
Right.
Something with weight on them. Not bad.
It was
Well,
almost
I'll
to
just
20.
I'll just say that you can't find like decently sized like pebbles, but you find just big chunks of stone. You're just like, this will do.
This
So
will work.
you have like 3 big chunks of stone in your hands.
I'll just keep reusing them, just like rolling them across the floor.
Is that what you want to do? Is that your plan?
I mean, let somebody else until we start seeing signs of life. That's what I'm gonna do. Or we start hearing something. I'm just gonna like roll it across the floor to see if it falls in.
Jesus Christ. Oh man. All right. Yeah, what is it? Does everyone else have any other ideas of how to
Can I
I
like
mean,
check the walls or floor if I can find any more traps?
Oh, in this area right here?
Yeah, this corridor that's we're going down
Go
right
ahead and make a perception check.
now.
oh,
As you look around, you hit it with your it looks like you're looking for traps, but you're just like, I have no idea what I'm doing. And you poke at stones and you poke at the floor with your dagger. Seems good.
I want to turn back to the other two. Say, everything's good here. We can just go along.
Good.
Okay, hold on. I throw
uh,
a rock down the hallway, like roll it across the floor like a bowling ball.
What's your strength score?
16.
16. I'll say that you can roll it 30 feet. So
Perfect.
you roll it 30 feet, and you roll another one on this side as well,
Hmm.
on the other side, and it rolls perfectly.
All right. Yep, it's safe. I go
So,
over,
seems
pick
fine.
up
Oh
the
yeah.
stones.
sorry?
Yeah, let's go.
So yeah, right here, everything's safe up until that point.
Yep. So we've learned don't step on leaves. They're not real.
As you get to that area, you do see. Actually, go ahead and make a perception check. Anybody who wants to.
A
Perception.
Tab,
tree.
Tab, and Sterling, all of you are making. Okay, that's fine. Oof, Tab.
11.
11 and a
This time.
15. That's fine. No, you all can make one. It's fine. Tav, you're too busy looking at the walls because you're like, I don't think Sterling did a good job looking at the walls. So you look at the walls more, get distracted. For you, and Ox and Sterling, you do see up ahead, clearly visible, especially with the lights, the little glowing lights around. How long do those lights last again? The dancing lights, Tav?
I'm
10
gonna
minutes?
look. I think it's
It's like
up
10
to
minutes.
1 minute,
Oh,
but I can just cast them
pass
again
it
all
again.
the time.
Okay, that's why it's fine. Okay, cool. So yeah, you do see with the help of the lights that there's another little thin filament of leaves and sand, and it looks fake as hell right here in this hole or this square.
I just look at him. So you want to take a bet? I bet it's a trap. What do you think?
No, I do think that's fake.
Okay.
Uh,
So I take a rock and I just toss it at it.
Yeah, it the rock falls 10 feet down as it takes this canvas with it, and yeah, like I said, it's another trap, another pitfall.
Get it.
Huh? What was that?
one knocked down.
We found a hole.
Oh,
So
nice.
let's go over that and jump out of that one again.
Sure.
Yeah.
Go ahead and make another dex check.
14.
21.
A 21.
Also
Nice.
21.
Nice, nice. Yeah, you all just this is like you're all very confident. You're like, this is nothing. Boop, 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 and you hop over, and you do see on the far side as you get there an actual stone building or construct, and then there seems to be a turn over here that leads probably along that stone wall.
So sneaky, sneaky up to that to peer around the edge.
Yeah,
Yes.
go ahead. You can move your icons, I think.
Okay. Let's see here. Do peeking around a corner.
Before you is this large memoraz. No, I was kidding.
Excuse me? What did you say about my mother?
You can see that this is a small little path and it leads to an entrance hole in the wall. The
Is there
stone construct.
are there any leaves on the floor?
With that perception check, oh no, make an actual perception check. Sorry, my bad.
13.
Let's see. You don't see anything visible that would remind you of what the last was.
I'm gonna roll the rock down there.
Okay. As you roll the rock down, it hits the far end of this little corridor. It goes right over.
Okay.
And
So there we
I will
go.
say, I'm sorry, I forgot to mention there is light coming from that
Oh,
doorway.
okay. Well
Like
then,
like bright light. I'm sorry, that was my fault.
I'm
Can
gonna shut off dance nights then.
yep.
Yep.
And I'm gonna peer
can I?
around that corner to see what's inside.
Okay.
Inside seems to be some sort of stone construct of sorts, the stone building, and the large light, the bright light coming from it is actually a massive lit brazier or brazier.
Hmm.
You can see that there's another doorway over here on the far side, and there seems to be more light coming down there as well. And then what's everyone's passive perceptions?
13.
13, okay.
10.
10.
10, okay. I will say for you, Ox, you can hear the slight mutterings of creatures coming from that doorway.
I'm so tempted.
Fine.
I'm so tempted to ask to speak to their leader.
Before we go ask anything, I want to go peek and see how they're in there, so we know exactly what we're about to go
All
kill.
right, fair, fair.
Yeah.
I'm gonna move out of their way so they can appear. They can look around the corner.
That's fine. That's fine. Okay. As you peer around the corner, Sterling, looking in is another hallway, and it goes up some stairs.
Hmm.
I'm gonna crawl up the stairs very quietly and just peek over the top.
Go ahead and make a stealth check.
God, this is gonna be terrible.
They're all just gonna
Stealth.
see this half orc crawling up their stairs on all fours.
8.
As you creep up and you peek over the final step or the top step, Ox, you see a dragon. No.
So, guys, we're not going this way.
You can sort of see a goblin looking or in front of another brazier, which is probably where the light source is coming from. Except this goblin's looking right at you. Like his head's turned, his back's toward you, but he's looking right at you because you sort of made like a little noise. Maybe one of your rocks fell down the steps
Perfect.
as you were sneaking up, and the goblin looks down, and his gnarly, disgusting smile of the goblin appears, and he draws his short bow. and points at you. He's like, "There's enemies here."
I literally just respond. I stand up. I have my great axe already in my hand, and I just go. The last guy that didn't let me talk to their leader ended up with his arm cut off. Do you really want to do this? Persuasion.
That's fine. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. For sure. Go ahead and make a persuasion.
Shit. 19.
Mm.
At disadvantage because
Oh,
walking into view
all right, fair enough.
is that same goblin that ran by Tav, and he's just like, no, they're here to kill us all.
All right, 12.
And the other goblin now, he's like, all right, yeah, I figured as much. And he lets loose his bow, and we'll go ahead and roll for initiative. But we're gonna go ahead and continue this next set.
Awesome. What a way to end it off. I just wanted to speak with your leader.